Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Please confirm if you can hear me and see me. Just checking. Everyone. Just checking if you can hear me. Please type Y in the chat box so that I know everything is working fine, and then we'll begin. Perfect. Thank you, Happy, for confirming, and thank you everyone for joining in. So, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Aniket. Thank you, Happy, everyone. Thank you so much for confirming. Perfect. So yet another Saturday, and we are here for our learning journey. Okay, so today, let's welcome Sushmit. Sushmit, if you are here, please come on. And
yes, sir.
See. Perfect. Well, can see you.
Yes, sir.
So he is Sushmit, and he's smiling. And Sushmit has secured 57th rank in the NIPER JEE 2020. And he got admitted to NIPER Mohali, where he did his MS medicinal chemistry, and then he joined Indigene as a junior associate scientific writing. So Sushmit's journey is an interesting one, right? And Sushmit also happens to be one of the attendees of my initial webinars in 2021. It feels so great to host one of the attendees as speakers, right? Just in 1 year's time. So Sushmit attended one of my webinar on medical writing while he was doing MS at NIPER, and we would love to hear more about Sushmit and what he did and how he did, and now what he is doing. And let's hear from Sushmit, and let's get inspired on how to plan our career for NIPERs. So NIPERs are, the prestigious institute in pharmaceutical sciences in India, and they are renowned for their quality of education and research facilities. So welcome, Sushmit, and the stage is all yours. You may please unmute, and then you may share your story, share your slides, and let us know what it is for us today.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you, sir, for providing me this great opportunity to speak or to help our pharmacy students right from the UG till the fourth year of the undergraduate programs. So as sir told, NIPER is one of the dream institutions for any of the BPharm students or any of the person who is in the pharmaceutical sciences. So it is everyone's aim. Like the persons who get into the engineering background, they aim for getting their PG done or whatever their undergraduate studies done in the IITs or NITs or any of the institutes related to the institutions of national importance. So it is the same like that. All the pharma graduates in the country dream to pursue their post-graduation here. Since NIPER doesn't have undergraduate programs, but I will tell you regarding that also. It will be amended, and in 1 or 2 years, undergraduate program will also get started. But persons dream to pursue their post-graduation in the NIPER. So first of all, I am here to decode the pathway or my story or the way of the preparation that can help the various pharma students, especially from the UG first year till the first or second initial phase also, and also third and fourth year students who are at the verge of completing their undergraduation. Graduation.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. So first of all, my flow of this presentation or the learning objectives from this lecture. After this lecture, you will able to see what are the strategies for preparation of NIPER JEE and what are the benefits as well as advantage, etc., etc. So the flow is simple. It will be, first of all, I will discuss about myself, that is my story. Then all about the NIPER and the NIPER JEE. These three segments, or second and third segment is for the first or second year student, especially those who want to, those who don't know what is NIPER or they want to pursue the career. And afterwards, it is for the all students. Like everyone wants to, after knowing what is NIPER JEE and what is NIPER, everyone everyone will have that same question, that how to prepare or that way. So the second last point is for years. Okay.
Absolutely. Please share the slide, Sushmit, so that it becomes easy. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to share the screen.
That's the reason I'm here, right?
Yeah. It's actually exactly.
That's okay. So you can start sharing the slide and then start one.
Is this screen visible?
Yeah, please make it full screen. Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Go on.
So first of all, I will be discussing about this key learning objective, whatever I told. Then we will be discussing on now. Let's start with my story, because see, everyone, those who are attending the webinar or those who will be watching this video from the YouTube live, they would like to know that who is the speaker or who is telling about the NIPER JEE strategies, and also it is the key right for everyone to know the speaker, like what he is telling or who is this person. So I am, as sir briefly introduced about myself. So I am Susmit Gupte, and I have currently did my post graduation, that is MS Pharm in medicinal from Department of Medicinal Chemistry from NIPER Mohali. Then from my UG background, I qualified the GPAT with an All India rank of 201. And then subsequently, I qualified the NIPER joint entrance examination by the All India rank of 57. So as a result of this ranking, I got admitted into the Department of Medicinal Chemistry at NIPER Mohali. So this is the story how I got into NIPER. Now, after getting into NIPER, the main question is what I did at NIPER. Because it is not like once we get into NIPER, then everyone says, like in pharma or in once you get into NIPER Mohali, your life is going to be set. It is true at some extent, but we'll have to do some things also there. The journey of struggle, or it never ends. It is one phase which we transition from one phase to the another phase. So the thing is what I did at NIPER. So during the initial first year or second year, 2 year tenure of my NIPER, I had many administrative positions. Like I was a placement coordinator of my Department of Medicinal Chemistry. Also, I was an associate coordinator for the Alumni Association of my department. Then also I served as a head of this web development committee for which is responsible for development and design of the website of my research group. Then I worked on an international research collaboration, and completed my project in anti-cancer molecule. Since my lab was focused on anti-cancer molecule, so I got into this project and I synthesized many anti-cancer molecules, which will be subjected to the activity. Then this is some of the glimpse of my NIPER life. Like, okay, means everyone wants to see why this, what is the point of sharing this all things. Is like NIPER Mohali, or I am restricting myself towards the NIPER Mohali, because I will not be knowing about any other in greater extent about any other institute or their life. But my NIPER Mohali life for during this 2 years was awesome. Means it is not only related to the main objective to show this is the NIPER life, or NIPER is not only just related to the studies or research. It is also related to the fun, and this is the most important part or most important phase of your life. Means in these 2 years, you are going to build a professional career, and you are going to transition from the academic world to the corporate world, and also with the certain enjoyments like that. So that is the main point to show this. And next thing is about my success pillar. This is Professor Shankar K. Uchchad. He is my research supervisor in NIPER. And one line which he always tells was his signature line, that a person shouldn't be just research oriented, but he must be skilled in the oral aspects. So that is more important, means that I learned from him. And regarding the subject also, and regarding the as a overall personality development also. Whatever today I am, it is because of him. Next. Okay, so next we'll begin our lecture. That is, first of all, what is NIPER? Again, I'm telling you, this is for the initial phase student, those who don't know. Okay, so NIPER is a National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. So these institutes were established by Government of India under the Act of Parliament. Then what was the objective? Objective was to produce some valuable human resource for the country, and also to produce some persons who will be acting as a, who will be at a position like at a leadership positions in the pharmaceutical industry. So main objective is to produce valuable persons or valuable leadership showing persons in the pharmaceutical industry. That is the objective of Government of India, to establish such a institutes of national importance. So why it is so? Because then at 1998, that is the NIPER Act 1998, this act grants the this act grants the NIPER as an institutes of national importance. Then under 2000, in 2006 or 7, more six NIPERs were established during in the various parts of the country. So NIPER Mohali was the first, and later 6 more NIPERs were established. And these all the 7 institutes are under the Department of Pharmaceuticals, under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Okay. So what is the benefits of getting into NIPER? The students may ask, okay, what is the, why I am explaining you all this. So what are the benefits? There are certain benefits, there are many benefits. So that is why only you are hearing this lecture, or you want to focus into this NIPER. So benefits are like, see, it is a topmost pharmaceutical research institute in India and in the world. Not only in India, it is in the world also. So it is evident from this second point. This NIPER Mohali, that is my institute, it was ranked 44th in the world, 7th in the Asia, and 1st in India by QS World University Rankings 2022, and 4th in the NIRF India ranking. This NIRF means National Institute of Ranking Framework. This is for the ranking of Indian institutes, and this QS World Ranking is for the world. Next. Next benefit is like, it is we will be having excellent research life and training by top renowned faculties in the world. Why? Because our faculties has been marked at top 2% scientists in the world. And this is not only to the NIPER Mohali, it is regarding different NIPERs also. All the NIPERs are having the world-class faculties. But the thing is, NIPER Mohali has a, since it was established since 1998, so it is having very old, since it was established at very older times. So all experienced faculties, and there are more faculties. So that is why it is rest of all the NIPERs are having the good faculty. So once this point I explained to the second year, means my NIPER juniors, like we are getting a good test of corporate life, and you utilize this corporate life in NIPER. See, because what we tell, NIPERs and all the institutions, they come, it is an academic part. And when the student is transitioning from the academic life to the corporate life, the institutions, or the way we behave in the institutions, or the way we act in the institutions, so it depends. Our corporate life or our job, everything depends upon this also. So what are the qualities that are inculcated from the NIPER life that offers a good test of corporate life? So this kind of points I present during my lectures to my NIPER juniors. And this last one is excellent placement records. As everyone might be knowing, these institutes are at the topmost level in the country. So they are having excellent placement records as compared to other institutions in the country. Okay. So now I'll be telling you about some NIPER campuses. Earlier I told that first NIPER has been established at Mohali, and rest of the 6 in 2007. So exactly where are these rest 6 institutions have been established? So it is rest 6 of the institution have been established at Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Guwahati, Kolkata, Raebareli, and Hajipur. Out of that, Mohali, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, and Guwahati, these 4 are known as the top 4 NIPERs in the country. Earlier, there were the top 3 NIPERs, Mohali, Hyderabad, and Ahmedabad, but now Guwahati is excellency. It means it is at the excellence. It is having the new campus, and now since NIRF ranking and other parameters also, Guwahati has been. So now top 4 NIPERs are these 4. So facilities are like, we have a teaching facility in the sense, well lavish lecture theaters and all, etc. We are having the excellent research facilities and also as a and hostel facilities. So research facilities, I mean the instrumentations, like we all are having the instrumentation laboratories. There are the many means institute or the ministry. It spends lot of money for the research based instruments and all the facilities which we are having. So now what are the programs at NIPER? Means what programs are being offered? So currently there are postgraduate, doctoral and integrated PhD programs. So under postgraduate programs, we have MS Pharm, M Pharm, MTech Pharm as well as MBA Pharm. Then under the doctoral programs, it is been divided into three parts, that is chemical sciences, life sciences and pharmaceutical sciences. Under chemical sciences, we all are having the chemistry based disciplines like medicinal chemistry, process chemistry, pharmacoinformatics, and all, etc. Under the life sciences discipline, we are having the pharmacology, biotechnology, and etc. And under this pharmaceutical science, we are having the pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical analysis. Means for the doctoral programs, it has been classified into these parts. Then we are having the integrated PhD. This is something new, and this has been started from this 2020 to this year only. So currently there was an amendment in the NIPER Act to start the integrated PhD courses also. So it has came into force, and each of the NIPERs are having one integrated PhD seats. This integrated PhD seats in the sense, the student will be admitted for the IPhD course, and he or she will complete his or her MS plus PhD. Okay, so that is a integrated PhD course, and it will like, see, MS needs 2 years and PhD needs approx 5 years. So 5 plus 2, it is 7. But for the integrated PhD, it will be completed under 6 years. So automatically the 1 year is been saved, and this is under the trial. So right now this has been established. Further, it will be seats will be more. And now I was telling about the undergraduate programs, is like NIPER Act, there was an amendment in NIPER Act, that is in this year only, in 2022. And undergraduate courses will be also established. You can even check this information on the PIB and etc. You will get it under the DOP information also. That NIPER Act is under amendment, and it will be coming into force after 1 or 2 years for the establishment of the undergraduate program. So for that, the institute is thinking like, we will be, means all India entrance test examination, that will be around kept. That is not yet sure, but it will be. And then undergraduate courses will also get started. Now, as you all are the BPharm students, so main focus will be under the master courses, like we all are for the PG courses here. So I am showing this example about the NIPER Mohali. Means NIPER Mohali has this 16 departments. All of the NIPERs will be having same departments except 1 or 2 differences. That also I will be telling you, or I'll be discussing it. So under this MS Pharm, M Pharm, and MTech Pharm or MBA Pharm program, there are these many disciplines like medicinal chemistry, natural products, traditional medicine, analysis, and right from here till process chemistry, formulations, and management. This has been sourced from our NIPER Mohali's website. And some new courses are being established, that is known as MTech Pharm in medical devices. This was established since 2020. So now it has been established, and in the NIPER Mohali, Hyderabad, in Mohali, Hyderabad, and Guwahati, these 3 NIPERs have been established with the MTech Pharm in medical devices. And also there is one new course like a MS Pharm in regulatory affairs, that has been established at NIPER Hyderabad. And MS Pharm, and don't confuse with MS Pharm medical devices and MTech Pharm medical devices. That MS Pharm medical devices is prior present. It is at NIPER Ahmedabad since many years. And MTech Pharm medical devices is a new course that has been started since 2020. Okay. So now, why should one target NIPER, that is for higher education? The main advantage for targeting NIPER is to pursue a great career in pharmaceutical science. Like, see, if you compare this with the engineering background students, IITians and NITians, I'm not telling that those who are not non-IITians, they will not be having, but there is a difference in the career path or etc. in all the aspects. So like the same way, those who want to pursue a great career or to achieve a topmost administrative position in the corporate world or etc., they can pursue their post graduation in NIPER. But this statement doesn't mean that non-NIPERians doesn't get any advantage or they cannot achieve the topmost position. But the thing is, the objective for this NIPER is to be established here. But one must aim for this because the career path and all, it varies according, as you have only 0.25% of students of the whole B pharmacy background getting into NIPER. So you are having some special privilege or special status for the NIPERians. Then third point is those who want to achieve PhDs or postdoctorates. They must target for NIPER. The main aim or the advantage of coming into NIPER and getting into PhD is like the recommendation, that is letter of recommendation on all etc. That you will understand since you are when you will get into this NIPER. So the path to pursue this PhD and postdoctorate in the abroad as well as in the topmost reputed institutes in India, the path becomes easier for the NIPERians to get into these programs, PhD and then later into postdocs. Then for all securing all these three objectives, which I have discussed just now or since this 15 to 20 minutes, the main gateway is you have to clear GPAT and NIPER JEE. So these are the two which are the main gateways to get into this get into this kind of programs. So is that clear? Can anyone respond to me?
So participants, you can raise your hand or put in the chat box if everything is fine and it is, you're able to absorb what Sushmit is telling. Yeah, perfect. So Infinix, you can rename yourself so that we can call by your name, and calling by names is the best thing we can do, right?
Yes.
And what about rest? Aniket, yes, it is very clear. Yes, Ishan says yes, clear. Sharmila says clear. Kushbu says clear. Ashwini says clear. So all clear, perfect. Go on.
Great. So that's a kind of response which I need. Okay, listen, students, you have to interact with me. That is only our goal, of my goal also and sir's goal also. So you have to interact with me whenever I'll ask, and I am happy for such responses as you. Thank you. Okay. So now there are how many seats in total NIPERs? So this data is also captured from the NIPER JEE 2022 information brochure, and this is from the NIPER JEE 2022 website. First information brochure will be released and then seat matrix is released during the counseling procedures. So see, for reference, I have shown the NIPER SS Nagar or Mohali seats. See, this has many courses like MS, MTech, MPharm and MBA Pharm. Then under various disciplines under MS, MTech and MPharm, and the total number of seats like medicinal chemistry has 27, natural products has 14, pharmacology and toxicology has 21, Ceutics has 9, and all etc. MBA has 47 total. So total number of seats of this institute for the academic year 2022 is 275. Okay. So now the seat matrix. Seat matrix means the division of these seats. See, for example, this medicine and these seats are subject to change. So it is with seat matrix is real, and that has been declared during the counseling process. So see, for example, MS Pharm in medicinal chemistry at NIPER SS Nagar, it has a total number of 27 seats. So what is the bifurcation of this 27 seats? Like general will be having 11 seats, OBC will be having 7, SC will be having 4, ST 2, EWS 3, and physically handicapped 1. And that seat is always plus or minus 1. Because physically handicapped seat is later added or it may be removed. So total number of seats for this medchem comes to around 28, and the bifurcation is seats. That general will be having 11 seats. Why I am explaining you these things? Because the main objective for explaining this is to the first year students also and to the third or final year students also. Why? It is because if you watch this seat matrix, and if you are from the general category or any of the, don't consider it and I am in the category, so okay, it's fine, I will be getting seat. You aim for the general category to secure a seat in general category so that you will get a rank higher. So out of these 27 seats, the general category seats are 11. So the ranking or the counseling process in the NIPER, if you are in the general category and you will be having all India rank of greater than around around, if you say, if you calculate the total number of seats under the branches which you need. For example, if you need pharmaceutics, medicinal chemistry, and pharmacology, and pharmaceutical analysis, if you calculate the total number of seats for the general category, so your all India rank in the general category must not exceed that seat. So for that reason, you have to target seat matrix. So I wish student that every year the NIPER counseling will be done, and every year you have to watch this seat matrix, and according to that seat matrix you have to aim like what rank must be achieved. For example, if I tell my story, during around when I was a batch 2016 to 2020 students of the BPharm. So since 2017 or 2018, I was been watching this seat matrix every time. So once around the year, I found that the total number of seats in the NIPER for 4 branches which I was needing, it was around 43. So my all India rank, listen this carefully, my all India rank in the general category must not exceed than 43. Then I will not get these 4 branches. Students, are you getting my point till here?
Please interact. Yes.
Yeah,
Peter
interact.
says yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So main reason to show this seat matrix is this. Means you need to target. You don't look at this seats. Okay, 27 is the seat, so I will target for such kind of ranks. So you have to watch this seat matrix, and according to the categories you need to place. Okay, and for the category based students, I am telling that you target for the general category. Don't rely on this. Okay, I am in the category, so I may plus or minus 10-20 ranks will be over. That is not the case. If you study it for the study more, then you will achieve more. So always target the thing. So watch this seat matrix carefully in from first year student will have to watch since every year, and the third and fourth year student will be around aware about that. Next is the fee structure. That is around if I show that 96,202 rupees has to be paid in since the same one, and for the subsequent same like is same 2, same 3, and same 4, 48 around 48K needs to be paid. So this is the fee structure for MS, MPharm, and MTech. And for the MBA, it is around 1,14,000 and 1,62,000 at the same one, and same 2, same 3, and same 4, it is around 1,14,000. So this is the fee structure for MS and MBA. Now, what kind of financial assistance you will get for this? So you will be getting rupees 12,400 per month as a form of financial assistance, or we can call it in a common term like stipend. So, and it will be funded from Department of Pharmaceuticals, that is from the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. And for the MBA farm, the stipend will be provided only to the top 3 students for each semester, and that stipend or the amount is been funded directly around by the institute. That is not from the DOP. Okay, so in for MS Farm, MPharm, and MTech Farm, there is a stipend for 12,400 rupees per month, and for MBA Farm, it is only to the top 3 students who top the semester. Now career after NIPER. Okay, so this is also one of the most interesting things. Means right now I am telling you about the NIPER JEE stipend, fee, and etc. I am telling you about many information. So what is also I discuss about the advantage, but what is the career after NIPER? Means what is the post NIPER career path? Because you will be having such questions, right? Why we are doing this? We have to achieve great in the corporate world. So what is exactly the career after NIPER? So this is the main flow chart. It is a simple flow chart. It is once it is a higher studies like in a PhD or postdocs. Means some students pursue higher studies after their MS Pharm in NIPER. And some of the students, many students achieve this career, like in industry or in the corporate. And in industry, there are 2 segments, that is research and development, and another one is the consulting. So you will be amazed, students will be amazed that this, I am telling you that this kind of flow chart, it is very vast. Means for my juniors, and whenever as I was the placement coordinator, so I will have to conduct this kind of sessions or post NIPER career development, or how to crack the interviews in that. So I conduct such sessions, and I conducted around this 3 sessions for this post NIPER career development. So you will be amazed to feel that this the lecture is entirely focused on this flow chart, and it takes around 2 hours for me to explain all the career opportunities. So students need to understand at what depth this post-NIPER career is there. Right now, I cannot explain you everything, because as it is not concerned to you at this moment. But for the NIPER students, I have to explain this for 2 hours. So why I'm telling you this? Because it is such a vast thing. Means the student can understand that what is the post-NIPER career is very vast. So for that reason also you can achieve, okay, we want to target GPAT and NIPER JEE, and we want to qualify both the examination with good rank. So now admissions in NIPER. So you need to first qualify the GPAT, that is been conducted by the National Testing Agency. Then you have to qualify the NIPER JEE with a good rank. Then you will get into NIPER. Next. Now, what is basically NIPER JEE? NIPER JEE is actually the All India NIPER Joint Entrance Examination, which is been conducted by jointly by all 7 NIPERs. And one of the institute is like organizing institute. Like this year it is a NIPER Hyderabad, or since last year also it was NIPER Hyderabad was an organizing institute for this NIPER. So then what are the criteria or characteristics of this examinations is, you will be having 200 questions, and there will be 25% of negative marking. Like for example, if one question is of 1 mark, then 0.25 marks will be under the negative marking. Okay, so exam duration is around 2 hours. So if we calculate this, the time for one question is just 36 seconds. So you might be understanding that at what accuracy or at what time management, what kind of time management is required to qualify this examination with a great rank. And the eligibility criteria for NIPER JEE is like, you need to have first you need to be qualified under GPAT, GATE or NET, second point is you need to score minimum of 60% mark or CGPA of 6.75 under the undergraduate course like BPharm. Yes, CGPA must be 6.75, or if not, then it must be under 60% of marks will be minimum, where the CGPA is not the case. Okay. Now you will be seeing the main. Now we will be seeing the main flow chart. Like what are the main aspects in NIPER JEE, and the preparation or the focus of NIPER JEE actually starts from this slide. Okay. So NIPER JEE is been divided into 2 kind of subjects. Like one is the pharma subject and another one is a non-pharma subjects. Then under pharma subjects, you will be having this. I have categorized these subjects into 5 categories around. It will be, one is the pharmaceutical chemistry, then another one is a pharmaceutics, then third one is a pharmacology, fourth is a natural products, and fifth is a biochemistry, biotechnology, and microbiology around. And under non-pharma subjects, you will be having logical reasoning, biostatistics, current affairs, English grammars, USFD approved drugs, and under Nobel words. So first I will be discussing this non-pharma subjects, as it is a very less part. See, it will be less around, but it is important. Those who want to focus or those who want to score higher in the NIPER JEE, or those who want to achieve a good rank, let's say it is under 90 or under 100, then you need to focus on this non-pharma subjects also. Don't think like that, okay, I am good at pharma subjects and I will leave this at this. Otherwise, NIPER JEE will leave you in the council if not done. Okay, it is just a joke. So you need to focus. So first part is a logical reasoning. And see, this logical reasoning is like, okay, it is aptitude based questions. So you don't need more practice. You need to just be thorough, or you need to just they test just a presence of mind. Means what is a presence of mind, and what during the time of examination, how you have the analytical skills to apply. Then second thing is biostatistics. I think right now the PCI means since 2020-21 only, the PCI syllabus has been effective for all over India, all universities. So this biostatistics and research methodology is, I think, the course, or I think the part of your curriculum around. So this is advantageous for you. During my time, it was not present. So I need to learn what is the mean, what is the mode, what is the median, and all, etc. All the regression parameters and correlation parameters, all the statistical parameters. So it is advantageous for you. So focus on this also. Then current affairs related to pharma. It is not general, it is related to pharma. So pharma current affairs means in the sense, see, since my time, it was 2020, COVID-19 was prevalent. So the questions were based on COVID-19, especially that what is a spike protein, how there is an entry of this COVID SARS-CoV-2 inside the human body and all, etc., etc. Then English grammar around that, some sentences you will be having, then they will tell you that fill in the blank spaces or articles and all, etc. Then this part is also important, that is USFDA approved drugs. Means you have to study past 2 years USFDA approved drugs. And study means in the sense you just have to memorize the names, and then you have to look for their mechanism of action and their therapeutic category. Thus, it is simple. That matter. Since 2 years, means if you are appearing NIPER JEE in 2023, then you have to go to USFDA website and you have to prepare a list of USFDA approved drugs since 2021. Okay. Then Nobel laureates. Currently, Nobel laureates are current, not all the Nobel laureates. It is if you are appearing for 2023, then you have to search for this Nobel laureates since 2022 or 21. That is the thing. So this is all about the non-pharma subjects. Around you will be facing around 15 to 20 questions plus or minus 5 for this non-pharma subjects. And now we will come on to the main part or the main focus, that is pharma subject, which is very vast. Okay, so under the pharma subjects, to make it simple, you see, once you are planning for some examinations, okay, this is general thing, this is not only for examinations or anything. Once you are setting up a goal, so that goal has to be divided into action plans, and that action plan has to be divided into objectives. So you have to apply a retrosynthetic approach, retrospective approach, that I can say. So why I told you the retrosynthetic, because some organic chemistry students who will be third or fourth year students, or third or fourth year student might be understanding what is a retrosynthetic approach in medicinal or organic chemistry. Like you have the product, you need to know. You know that I have to synthesize this ciprofloxacin as a molecule. So now you will get back to you will analyze the structure, and you will break the molecule into many parts. And then through that, you will trace the substrates, that what kind of substrates have to be reacted with each other to form a ciprofloxacin molecule. So it is similar to that. You have the aim for securing the, first of all, you have the aim to achieve a topmost position in the industry or in etc. everything. Then what is the gateway? You need to get into NIPER or any of the topmost institutes, as far as now, as I am telling. Now, for this, you need to qualify the examinations like GPAT as well as NIPER. Then for NIPER JEE, what you need to look? You need to look about this pharma and non-pharma subjects. And then under pharma subjects, what you need to look? This kind of 3 to 4, 5 subjects. And then under these 3 to 5 subjects, what are the initial subjects? So that is the strategy for goal setting. Means you have one goal. You have to make it into different plans, and that plans must be converted into objectives. Is that clear till here?
Participants, type clear if it is clear, or type D if you're in doubtful mode. So we'll clarify one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of them say clear. Okay. No one has doubt. Perfect. So we can move on. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Yeah. So under the first, I have considered it as pharmaceutical chemistry. So under pharmaceutical chemistry, you will be having 3 or 4 bifurcations like organic chemistry, analytical chemistry, medicinal chemistry, and physical chemistry. Under pharmaceutics, you will be, I have considered this 5 bifurcations like physical pharmacy, unit operation. Unit operation is nothing, but it is pharmaceutical engineering. Then posology. Posology means the dose titration or this kind of calculations. Then it is under the industrial pharmacy, and then biopharmaceutics. Under pharmacology, we are having the general pharmacology, then drugs acting on autonomic nervous system, cardiovascular system, then central nervous system, and then chemotherapy, and drugs acting on endocrine system, etc. Then under natural products also there are bifurcation, but I have not mentioned. And then biochemistry, biotechnology, and microbiology. These everything will be discussed later in the later part of this lecture. Okay. So important subjects basically. These all are important. See, those who want to qualify with the good rank and all, they need to know important subject just to make what are and under what subject I need to stress more or I need to emphasize more. And those who want to, means everything is important, but just it is for those person who want to get into, or everyone must I must stress at this, or I must particularly emphasize at this subjects more, and rest of the subjects also I should emphasize, but this is more. So important subjects are in the pharmaceutical chemistry like organic, analytical, and physical chemistry. Why medicinal chemistry? Medicinal chemistry is important, more important for NIPER, for GPAT, and under NIPER, it is more important for the last drug designing portion. That also I will explain what are the differences between the GPAT and NIPER. Means while discussing the individual subjects, I will be sharing that what are the differences in this particular subject for the GPAT and for the NIPER. Then under the pharmaceutics, we have the physical pharmacy. Then unit operation is also important. Biopharmaceutics is also important, and industrial pharmacy is most important. Yes. And under pharmacology, these kind of topics are important. General pharmacology is very important for this. And natural drugs and biochemistry, I will be discussing it under this. Okay, so now you got to know about the flow of this whole lecture. Like I will be discussing this exact each and every subject for in detail. So organic chemistry, this is most important phase for the or phase of this lecture, which I can tell that students need to note down, or they can take what are the things that is important to study. So see, first is I have considered it as the chemical bonds and their types. Means see, what are the ionic bond, what are covalent bond, what is coordinate covalent bond. Then you need to look about that, what is the bond length, then what is the bond enthalpy. That bond length and bond enthalpy, I am not focusing it on the values. I am focusing it on the comparison, like the bond enthalpy of the ionic bond and bond enthalpy of the hydrogen bond. So which is better or not better, which is more? Bond enthalpy of the ionic bond will be more, as it is a bond is stronger than that of the hydrogen bond. Like that way, you don't need to focus on the values. That is just a memorization part, and there is no one to memorize that value. Even nobody in NIPER will be knowing that what is the bond length or bond enthalpy exact value there. So you need to just know about the comparison. Next, so see, bracket I have written forces of drug receptor interaction. So can anyone just unmute yourself and explain why I have written this forces of drug receptor interaction in this organic chemistry part? Forces of drug receptor interaction is in the medicinal chemistry. So why I have written? Can it may be wrong, but it's fine. Why can anyone tell or explain?
So if anyone wants to explain, please raise your virtual hand on Zoom, or you can put in the chat box and we'll take that from there. And no one is here to judge you. Don't worry about
it is nothing. We just want to interact, and it is an interactive lecture.
Absolutely, yeah. So anybody wants to take a guess? Type DNK if you do not know, and type the guess if you want to put in the chat box. DNK if you do not know, so that will continue. Yeah. Okay, so Nitesh says DNK, do not know. Okay. Perfect. So you may continue, Sushmit. Yeah, most of them do not know.
Yeah. Okay. So main objective of this writing is, see, if you know the types of covalent bond or types of bonds in the organic chemistry, most of the drugs are organic molecules. Everyone will agree to this. Okay. Most of the drugs are organic molecules. So how the drugs will act, it is based on the drug receptor interaction or drug target interaction inside our body. Okay, so inside our body, there are various drug targets, like it will be enzymes, it will be ion receptors, and etc. And these enzymes and receptors, they are the proteins, and proteins contain amino acids. So your organic molecule, when it will be under the systemic circulation and it will be reaching the target, it will be interacting with our drug target, and through that you will achieve your drug action. So this interaction part is traced to the organic chemistry. So my whole point of discussing is, you just don't need to study the subject, you need to study the subject with the comparison or the correlation with the another kind of subject. Okay, is that clear?
Type CLR if it is clear, and we'll continue. Okay, so most of them have put CLR. Perfect.
Yeah. So my objective is to explain this. Like you need to be open at a multifaceted approach. Means you need to be look at the multiple aspects of the study. Means you are studying organic chemistry. It's not like okay, you are just studying organic chemistry to score a good marks for that. But you need to always focus on the application that you are studying. That it has a various kind of application. See, now just now at the first point I told you regarding the bond length and bond enthalpy and types of bond, that has the application in medicinal chemistry. So it is like that way. You need to study it in correlation. Like Van der Waals forces, some drugs will be forming hydrogen bond with that of the receptors and they will execute their mechanism of action. It is like that way. Okay. So it is not only for organic or medicinal, it has to be studied for all. You need to find out the interaction, like you need to find out the trace, the thing, like what is the application of my particular subject, whatever I am studying. And this is the prerequisite criteria in NIPER JEE. Because why? NIPER JEE, the students coming here or the students graduating here after, they are the scientists. Okay. So for them, they need to see about the application. So your study must be application based. Okay. So now second point is the MO theory. That is nothing but it is a molecular orbital theory. Then linear combination of atomic orbitals as well as the hybridization. Like it will be sp2, sp3 or what kind of sp3, d2 and etc. Molecular orbital theory is a theory which constitutes or which provides the principle as how atoms combine to form a molecule. And these LCO principles are important that you need to study. That what are these LCO principles and the MO theory. The next one is the electronegativity, and also you need to study about the factors affecting the electronegativity. Okay. Then next part is the inductive, electromeric, and hyperconjugation and resonance effect. Means what are there are the common effects in organic chemistry. Like okay, for inductive effect, I can just give you an example. If there is a haloalkane, then if there is a one substitution of the halogen and two substitution of halogen and three substitutions of halogen, then it will be most inductive will be around minus I effect showing group will be minus I effect showing compound will be tri-substituted alkene. Because why? Because these chlorine and halogens are regarded as the halogens, or they have the property to withdraw the electrons, and this property is known as inductive effect. Then similarly, there are other effects like electromeric, hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation is also known as no bond resonance, and this is known as resonance effect. Like resonance, and you might be knowing all those things, like how the electrophilic substitution takes place, what are the canonical structure of the benzene, and etc. everything. So this and special terminology, you need to focus on the special terminologies also. Hyperconjugation. Now, just now I told you the hyperconjugation synonym is no bond resonance. Okay. So NIPER in the question paper you may find such question. What is the hyperconjugation called? Or if there will be some reaction shown or there may be some phenomenon shown, and there will be 4 options. Okay, identify the above phenomena which is shown in the above figure, and there the statement will not be provided as hyperconjugation, it may be provided as no bond resonance. So student will confuse, like okay, I have studied hyperconjugation, but this is written no bond resonance. So they don't know that hyperconjugation is no bond resonance. So why I am explaining you this point, because I know what the students think and how the students struggle. In during my NIPER JEE also, means many of the students I met, and after many of the juniors I met, they don't know this kind of thing, and that is why they struggle in the examination. They lose their 1 mark, and this 1 mark is also very much important in the NIPER. So you need to look on all the aspects, like what are the things, what are the synonyms and all, etc. And the best way to look upon this is be yourself as an examiner. Means you think like that I am the examiner, and if I want to set the NIPER JEE paper, then what kind of questions I will be setting it. And you prepare one separate note for that, and you just write here one question. Means see, you prepare, you set one kind of your goal. If one topic I am reading it, and after one topic, you need to be a self-examiner, and you need to write down your questions, what kind of questions you will be asking to the students under the separate notebook. So that is the advantage that I used to do whenever I was preparing since 4 years for this. Each topic I was studying, and then I was assuming myself as an examiner, and I was putting down the questions. And through that reason, then it is in getting explored more and more. Next is the reactive intermediates and the reaction involving their formation. Like reactive intermediates means carbocation, carboanion, carbenes, nitrines, and etc. And their reactions. Tautomerism is also important, like ketoenol tautomerism, then nitrosamine tautomerism, and etc. Everything is important. So this tautomerism is important, and that you can read from the Jerry March. Yes, I will be discussing the reference books as well at the last slide. Then second one is a nucleophilic substitution reactions like SN1, SN2, SNAR, and benzyne mechanism. This benzyne mechanism is for the nucleophilic substitution for this arine or the aromatic species. This one thing. Okay. So you need to study all the aspects of nucleophilic substitution, like not just the name or the parameter. You need to study about what is the mechanism of SN1, then what kind of parameters are, what are the characteristics of this SN1 and SN2. For example, just to make it clear, make it simple, I am telling you, this SN2 reaction undergoes the inversion of the stereochemistry, and SN1 undergoes the racemization. Racemization means it is a combination of retention as well as inversion. Means see, the nucleophile in the SN1 will be attacking from the both sides, like from the front side also and as well as the back side also. So if it attacks from the one side, it will be racemization. Sorry, it will be retention of the configuration, and it will be attacking from the back side. It will be inversion. So as it is a front and back, it is a racemization, and the product which will be formed, it is a non-optically active compound. And this SN2 will be forming the inversion, like it will be a compound will be optically active. Like if you are having the optically inactive substrate, then after undergoing this SN2 mechanism, you will get what kind of substrate? That will be the question. Sometimes it is the question in NIPER, in many past year paper, I have seen this question. This reaction undergoes SN2 mechanism. What is the stereochemistry of the compound from below? And then there are 4 options, like it is a D isomer or it is a L isomer. So you need to understand that SN2 mechanism, and if the substrate is D, then the product will be formed as levorotyrate, that is L. Okay, that is the thing. Then electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions. Electrophilic aromatic means it will be under the benzene, means the aromatic system or the benzene, the pi cloud there, it undergoes the electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions. So these kind of reactions you need to study. Then the next part is in the elimination reaction, like E1, E2, and E1CB, and the rules associated with that. This is most important, Setzov rule. Okay, this see, every kind of reactions or every kind of theory, it will be having some of the rules or some of the guiding principles which are being given by the scientists, and that guiding principles you need to identify and then you need to study, and the question will be based on this rule. They will not ask you, NIPER will not ask you about the E1, E2 mechanism, but NIPER will give you one reaction, and then it will make you to identify that what is the most stable product. So you need to apply, they will not tell, apply Setzov rule and identify the product. But that is related to a student. Student must understand that it is an elimination type of reaction, and it is undergoing this E1 as well as E2 mechanism, that also it will be mentioned. And then you need to identify the product. So what kind of rule I need to identify to guess the maximum or the stable product? So that is a Setzov rule that you need to study. What is this rule and what are the things? In addition reactions, you need to study all the mechanisms and all, etc., how the addition will be progressing. Then you need to study about the Markovnikov's rule as well as anti-Markovnikov's rule. So see, the questions in the NIPER will be direct, means, but you need to apply your analytical thinking. Means it will not that much too direct. Okay, identify the product in and apply Markovnikov rule. That you need to see, that you need to apply this rule in this kind of reactions. Then there is a rearrangement reactions, like, okay, then from here the parts like name reactions and all the parts will be progressing later. It will be in combination. Like rearrangement reaction, there will be Claisen, Curtius, Lausanne, Hoffman, Fries, and Pinacol, etc. There are numerous. Then see, they may ask you the question, what is the difference, or they may give you 2 reactions and then identify which one is the Lausanne rearrangement and which one is the Curtius rearrangement. Means from studying this all the rearrangement reactions, you need to identify which are the reactions which are very similar, and then those reactions which are very similar, they will be having 1 or 2 points of minor differences between them. So here you need to identify, for example, this Curtius and Lausanne rearrangement has many similarities. Okay, so that you need to identify that what are there are many similarities, but there are differences also. So the question will be based on that differences. Okay, there will be given the two reactions, and then you will be asked to ask in the MCQ that which one is the reaction number 1 and which one is the reaction number 2. And here the students struggle. They have studied Curtius and they know that it is Curtius and it is Lawson, but don't know which one is Curtius and which one is Lawson. It is like that way. So students need to pay attention to that. Then it is a stereo specificity as well as stereo selectivity. Everything will be guessed. Then under the isomerism or the stereochemistry part, you will have to focus on the geometric isomerism, that is cis and trans and androgen and zusammen, E and Z. Then you need to focus on the optical isomerism, like it will be around chirality. You need to identify what are the basics of chirality, what are the prerequisite criteria for any compound to become a chiral, what are the epimers, what are diastereomers, what are mesomers, racemic mixture, and etc. Then under racemic mixture means what? It is a mixture of this optical, means the compound will be having the mixture will be consisting of the two substances or the one substances which are having the two optical rotations. Like, okay, yeah, for example, if I give you example of the drug cetirizine. Cetirizine is a racemic mixture of dextrorotatory cetirizine and levorotatory cetirizine. And then both the rotations are of the equal and opposite manner, and they both cancel each other and to form a racemic mixture. Like in SN1 and SN2, I discuss about this racemic mixture. So now what to link in the medicinal chemistry of pharmacology future? Now, as many of them you are knowing, why I choose this cetirizine as an example, because it is a most famous or it is a most common example. Even first or second year student, those who haven't studied histamines or antihistamine may be knowing cetirizine. So cetirizine, the one side effect of the cetirizine was drowsiness, and it is it will create a sleep. So those persons who are drivers, or you need to attend a meeting, or you need to go to office, or that, they cannot take cetirizine. Okay, so that was a major disadvantage in the cetirizine. And then going back to the drug discovery phases or development phases, the scientist or the pharmaceutical scientist person, they removed one of the isomer of this cetirizine, that is dextroisomer, from the racemic mixture. And then the cetirizine which will be available as a levocetirizine, means it will be showing the levoisomerism, that levorotatory, not isomerism. So only the levorotatory product will not be able to penetrate the central nervous system, and it will not cause the histamine antagonism there. And that is why the levocetirizine is a non-sedating agent and cetirizine is a sedating agent. Why? So this is another example of comparison between the various subjects. So see, just I was discussing the optical isomerism, and I was discussing this racemic mixture, and the comparison started from since the organic chemistry to the medicinal chemistry. So this is the way to study. Means you need to interlink various subjects, and that is the key to qualify this GPAT as well as NIPER, with not just qualify, with a good All India or the prestigious All India rank. This is the thing. These are the things which not many students focus, but those who focus, they are at the topmost position in the rankings or as well as that. So it is the thing. You need to study in this manner. Then nomenclature. Nomenclature is R and S, D and L, and CIP rules. Yeah. Now here I would like to ask you one simple question. I have mentioned small d and small l nomenclature. Can anyone tell, or can anyone just tell me what is the capital D and capital L nomenclature? Very, very simple.
Participants, please put in the chat box.
Okay, I will be providing you hint. The capital D and capital L nomenclature is only specific for certain kind of certain classes of compounds. And D and L is for everyone. Okay.
Participants, we are waiting for responses.
Just you need to mention the category of this capital D L compound. That category of the compound which uses this nomenclature.
Ishan says dextro and levo.
Yeah, dextro and levo, it is this also, D and small l. Actually, this small d and small l are known as dextro and levo. But capital D and capital L is also dextro and levo, but it is specific for one compound. That is the difference between these two.
Happy says D and L are rotate the plane polarized light right or left direction.
Yeah, that is also correct. But small d and small l also for this. So that is the catch here.
Kushbu says amino acid.
You are very close to that. It is a biochemical molecule. You are very close. Yes, this answer is very close to that. It is a biochemical molecule, but not amino acid. It is a carbohydrates. Okay, is that clear now? Capital D and capital L is used for the carbohydrates. And usually, if I take an example of glucose, if the second last or the penultimate OH group is on the right hand side of this carbohydrate or the projection, then it is known as capital D isomerism. And if that OH group is on the left hand side, it is known as capital L. And this capital D and capital L is known as dextro and levo. It is fine, but it is just for the carbohydrates. And the small d and small l is for overall, you can tell for any of the compound. All answers were correct, but just this was the major difference. So this may be a question in NIPER or GPAT. How will you assign the configuration to this? Okay, so that may be a question. That is a catch here. The CIP rules are the most important to assign this R and S configuration, rectus as well as sinister. Rectus means it will rotate the plane polarized light to the right, and sinister means it is a left. So it will rotate the plane polarized light to the left. So it is not the thing. This is also the one of the assertion as well as reason type questions. So A and R type of question will also be asked, if for example. So this not all the compounds, like rectus means it will rotate the plane polarized light towards the right, and small d also means that it is a dextro rotator, so it will rotate the plane polarized light to the right. Okay, so it is not necessary that the compound which is having the R configuration will be having the D that will be showing D only. It is not like that. So it is based on the nomenclature system of different type of rules. Like R and S nomenclature is governed by CIP rules. It is like that. Okay. So it is the difference. Right? Means most of the thing it is like D plus and R is mentioned, but it is not always in the case that the compound is D and it will be showing R, or the compound is L and it will be showing S. That will be a plus R type question. That assertion will be this and reason will be that. Then you will be asked to know that you will be asked in the option like both assertion and reason are correct. Assertion is correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion, or like that way, like that kind of question. Then it is a chiral resolution. Now in the racemic mixture, I told you that it is a mixture of the both kind of D as well as L, both the different rotating, both the compounds of which are having the different rotation, optical rotation. Now you need to separate both these compounds, and that process is known as resolution. So chiral resolution is the separation of the racemic mixture into individual optical isomers. So that is also the important part. What are the 7 or 8 methods are there of chiral resolution? So that you need to study. Then under the stereochemistry part, next is the representation of the organic molecule in the 3-dimensional, or that whatever you need to say. It will be around these two kind of representations are important. That is Sawhorse and Newman projection. Anderon formula is a synonym of Sawhorse projection. So somehow in NIPER, if it may be asked Anderon or Sawhorse, don't confuse. Anderon and Sawhorse is one and the same. Then you need to check about the conformers. Like stereoisomerism is divided into various conformational and configurational. And out of that conformational isomerism, you will be having the anti as well as Gotch, like that, staggered as well as eclipse. And under staggered, you have the anti as well as Gotch conformation, and under eclipsed conformation, you have the full eclipsed as well as partial eclipsed. So these kind of things you need to remember. And then especially you need to remember or you need to study about the conformation of cyclohexane. That is most important. Like what are the conformation? Chair form is stable or boat form is stable. Then what is the half chair? What is the twist boat? Then also conformation about the butane as well as propane. But mostly the cyclohexane conformation questions will be asked because this is more important. And which conformation is a stable conformation? Chair conformation is stable or boat is stable, that you need to see. Chair is stable, but why and what are the reasons, that you need to see. Next, name reactions. Now in under the name reactions, I will be telling you to use NM inamdar specially for the name reaction. Means under the back side of the inamdar book, there are all the name reactions which are being given. That is good for the revision or for the study. And under name reaction, what you need to study, you don't need to study mechanisms or etc. and factors controlling them and etc. everything. You need to just study about the substrate. You need to look upon the conditions and you need to look what are the products. And on the basis of these questions will be asked that what is the kind of products for Reimer-Timer reaction. What is, and if there are any specific intermediates which are formed, which are important intermediates during the name reaction, that you need to identify or that you need to remember. For example, Reimer-Timer reaction is used for the synthesis of salicylaldehyde in the pharmaceutical industry usually. Okay, so for the synthesis of salicylaldehyde, this Reimer-Timer reaction is being used. And under this Reimer-Timer reaction, the most important intermediate is formed is which of the following? That will be the question. So it is a dichlorocarbene or it is a carbene. So carbene is a reactive intermediate which I discussed earlier. So from there you need to correlate here. Okay, this carbene I am studying and dichlorocarbene. Okay, this is a intermediate in the Reimer-Timer reaction. So that way you need to what we can say, you need to join the dots between intra-subject also and inter-subject also. This is the thing. Then it is a pericyclic reaction like electrocyclic, cycloaddition and sigmatropic. This is for the 4th year BPharm student, they will be knowing. It is very deep. Even we as a NIPERians in the Department of Medicinal Chemistry, we are getting trained for this kind of pericyclic reaction. So that you don't need to study it in very detail. That is a master level course, but the questions will be asked at least on the what are, you need to know the definition. What are this? Then ester hydrolysis mechanism. These are important. This you may not be able to study in the BPharm syllabus. Means in the syllabus, no one might have taught you, but you need to look very much for this ester hydrolysis mechanism. As this is the common question like BAC1, AL2, AAC2. AL1 means acid catalyzed alkyl cleavage unimolecular reaction. That is known as AL1 hydrolysis. So that kind of mechanisms you need to just look at which kind of mechanism is more common. I am providing you the hint. Use the Jerry March and there are 8 ester hydrolysis mechanisms. So that you need to study. Then organic qualitative analysis. Now don't think like that. I am preparing for NIPER JEE or I am preparing for GPAT or any competitive examiner. So I need to look only upon the theory part in the institution or in the college. You need to also don't just conduct your practicals or don't just study your practicals for getting a good marks in practicals. You need to study that for entrance also, because this organic qualitative analysis is used as a practical in many of the for the undergraduate 1st or 2nd year organic chemistry students. Means you will be having a practicals of organic qualitative analysis. Like you need to study the identification of carbohydrates. How will you identify aldehydes? How will you identify ketones? And all etc. etc. These are the things. Then heterocyclic chemistry. Heterocyclic chemistry is very important, as this heterocyclic chemistry, most of the drugs are heterocycles. So in medicinal chemistry, the heterocyclic chemistry is most important, and for that you need to study this chapter from the organic chemistry itself. So you need to study about the synthesis of the various heterocycles, like what is the synthesis of pyrrole, what is the synthesis of furan and all etc. Then aromaticity, like Huckel's rule, and reactivity. Aromaticity means you don't need to identify that these molecules are aromatic. You need to also identify the molecules which are anti-aromatic and non-aromatic also. Okay, the student just know, okay, I am applying the 4n plus 2 pi rule and this is the aromatic compound. It is not like it is only 4n plus 2 pi. If it is anti-aromatic, the electrons will be 4n electrons, 4n number of pi electrons. So that also question was asked during the 2020, that which is anti-aromatic and which is aromatic. So student don't know. Student only knows aromaticity. Don't know anti-aromatic. What is that under this? Okay. Now the second part is the pharmaceutical analysis. Like in the flowchart I have mentioned analytical chemistry. It is a pharmaceutical analysis. So till now for organic chemistry, is it clear? We'll be having Q&A session also. But for now, is it clear?
Yes, clear it seems. Clear from Kushbu, Ashwini, Almaz.
Okay. Okay,
All of
great.
them. Yeah.
Okay, then I can move forward. Okay, so I know that it is difficult because it is a main kind of, we are discussing the main things here. Means what are the syllabus, and so that is why I don't like to move very rush forward or to I also have time, so I can discuss everything in the detail. Like the students can be knowing this thing. Okay, so first part is the IR spectroscopy here in that. So the pharmaceutical analysis of the analytical chemistry is divided majorly into the two parts, like it is the instrumental methods like spectroscopy and chromatography, and conventional method like titrimetry and etc. So spectroscopy and chromatography are the most important. Titrimetry and all that are the age old methods. Now it is very less used, so they are not very much important. So I'll be discussing more about this spectroscopy. It is IR. So for each spectroscopy, everything is common is this instrumentation, principles, and application. Principle, instrumentation, and application. These three things are common for all the spectroscopy and chromatography techniques. So see, for example, in IR spectroscopy, now you need to identify what are the wavelength range of IR. Means, okay, so electromagnetic radiation you all have earlier studied in the second year or in the first year of the BPharm itself. So now you need to identify that for IR spectroscopy, what is the range of IR? Now we represent the IR in the wave numbers, not in the wavelength. Okay. Now what are the principle? Like principle is for the bond vibration, means it is based on the vibrations, vibrational motion. So this IR spectroscopy works. And so you need to identify what are the types of vibration. Then you need to identify what is the instrumentation. Then in the instrumentation, major important is source as well as detector. Means what are the IR source and what are the IR detectors. Like that detector principle and source and all that you need to study. Then any of the laws associating with the IR spectroscopy, that is Hooke's law, that we have one formula that F is equal to 1 upon 2 pi C under root of K by mu, where this K is known as the force constant and mu is known as the reduced mass. So this kind of laws and all which are governing the spectroscopy, that you need to study. Then how we will sample. Now from here, the sampling will also start. Like what are the ways of sampling the IR? That is Mull technique, KBR, press pellet technique. Then how we to sample the liquids, how we will sample the gas or etc. Not gas, it is under solid as well as liquid sampling. Okay. Now it is a functional group range. Means see, the application of the IR spectroscopy is to detect the functional groups. So what kind of the range will be there? Like for example, ketones will be showing wave number of around 1700 centimeter inverse. So that is the functional group range of the ketone. If in the spectra you will interpret and you will see 1700 centimeter inverse or around that line, then you can identify it is ketone or like that way. Okay, then calibration. How we will calibrate the instrument of the IR? Like it is through the polystyrene and all the detailed method that you need to see. Then under the UV visible spectroscopy, it is the same principal, instrumentation, and Beer's-Lambert's law, as I discussed on for the Hooke's law also. Woodward-Pfizer rules, shifts, transitions, and also as a calibration. Shifts means it is a bathochromic shift, hypsochromic shift, or etc. like that. Transition means it is a sigma to sigma star, pi to pi star, n to pi star, and the energies associated with that, which is the highest energy, which is the lowest energy, that you need to see. And the calibration, how we will calibrate the instrument. Then NMR spectroscopy. This is around the most important one, because this, why I'm showing you that it is important or like that, because the important part of the NIPER JEE is the part which is important in the post-NIPER life. As we are the students of medicinal chemistry, as also the process chemistry and other many departments also, we utilize this NMR spectroscopy at maximum. Maximum spectroscopical techniques is being utilized is this NMR as well as mass. These two techniques are very important in NIPER and for the research. Means I have carried out many NMRs and also I have carried out many mass spectra. So these kind of things you need to see. What are these important? So it is obvious that these kind of things are important. So in the examination, these questions will be maximum in the NMR spectroscopy. So you need to look about the principle, what is the gyromagnetic ratio and all the related terms associated with that. Then instrumentation of the NMR, then chemical shift like delta values and what are there. Then magnetic anisotropic effect, then solvents. Let's see what are the example and the role of TMS. Can anyone tell what is TMS? Third year or fourth year student might be knowing that. TMS. Very basic question it is.
Yes, participants, time for you to put in the chat box. Type DNK if you don't know. before I said it's there in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So Alma says no, do not know. Sushmit, so it is your turn. So explain
Okay,
it.
okay,
They
great.
do not
It
know
is,
it.
I think there are maximum students of first or second year, so
Yes,
they
that's
might
right.
be not knowing. Third year,
Yes.
fourth year, third year student will be knowing this at their fingertips. It is a tetramethylsilane. It is usually used as a reference standard in the NMR spectroscopy. Okay, and what is its role? And also, as you are the first, it is okay. But the tetramethylsilane, those who will be watching this at YouTube Live, it is a maximum shielded compound, and that is why it will be having the chemical shift of 0. So that is why this is used as a reference standard in the NMR spectroscopy. And the solvent which are used are the deuterated solvent. Why? Because this hydrogen, as it is a nuclear magnetic resonance, and the application for this NMR is to find out the number of hydrogens. And if you will dissolve your sample in such kind of solvents who will be having the hydrogens, so it is not fruitful, means you will not get the accurate results or the value. So you need to use deuterated solvents, means hydrogen has been replaced with its isotope like deuterium, like chloroform is not used, it is used as CdCl3, that is deuterated chloroform, that is been used. Then there is another solvent like D6-DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, and where these 6 hydrogens are deuterated, means there will be no 6 hydrogen, there will be D. Okay, that will, and also heavy water has been used like D2O. Instead of H2O, that is D2O. That is the thing. Then mass spectrometry. Then another one is a principle, ionization, peaks and rules and rearrangement. This is also mass spectrometry and NMR spectrometry. This is most important for NIPER JEE, and I am telling you most of the portion of the pharmaceutical chemistry which will be under this kind of these two parts. Main kind of questions will be asked are, what are the, you will be provided one structure, and then you will be asked to predict the number of NMR signals in that structure. So you need to apply all your knowledge of the NMR data interpretation for that. That is why I wrote the term data interpretation. During 2020, the question was more many in 2020 also. The question will be asked, okay, one structure will be given, or just in my case, I am telling you, orthoxylene. How many number of peaks will be produced in C13 NMR spectra for the orthoxylene? That was the question, and answer and options were 2, 3, 4, or that way. So you need to identify or you need to draw the structure of orthoxylene. Then you need to count number of carbons in that, and then you need to see the, okay, this is the number of carbon. So C13 NMR will be having this many peaks. And if they ask you proton, then you need to count the number of protons, and also you need to see that one proton will be splitted under what. So splitting pattern is also necessary for that. Okay, then mass spectrometry, that what is the principle, what are the various types of ionization techniques, what are the peaks, rules, and rearrangement on all. Most of the ionization technique is important is ESI, APCI, and MALDI, because these are the ionization techniques which we use at NIPER. Basically, we use ESI, APCI, and MALDI was used at now also, it may be used at earlier times also. Okay, so next is a chromatographic part, that is basics of chromatography and principles of separation. Basics of chromatography means the principles and all, etc. What is chromatography? What is the application of chromatography? Then what are the principles of separation? Like for example, it is a adsorption chromatography, it is a size exclusion chromatography, and all, etc., etc. Then Van Dimter equation is the best, and it is the most important, as it will be discussing around this what we call is factors affecting band broadening, and what are the reasons so that the tailing occur, fronting occur, and all, etc. And this equation and the 3 parameters in that equation. HPLC also is most important, as it is the most application, it is the most applicative in pharma industries as well as also in the research. So its instrumentation principle and all kind of chromatographic parameters. Then GC, like gas chromatography also. Principle is important, instrumentation, and all the hyphenated technique. Hyphenated technique means the GC coupled with the mass spectrometry, that GCMS. Okay, gas chromatography and mass spectrometry. LCMS. In NIPER, we use LCMS, liquid chromatography, that is coupled with the mass spectrometry. So that kind of things we use to find out the molecular mass of the unknown compound. That is see, just for the curiosity, I'm telling you that why these techniques are, how these techniques are used in the research or in the thing. Whenever we synthesize a new compound, okay, we look for the literature and we synthesize one molecule, and to confirm the structure of that molecule as per along our desired or our hypothesized structure, we need to use analytical techniques. And that analytical techniques, first we use this mass spectrometry to find out the expected molecular mass of the compound, and if the mass spectrometry, and then we find out the NMR spectrometry. So NMR spectra. So NMR spectra and mass spectra, we both use in the combination for figuring out the structure of the unknown compound, that is synthesized compound. Okay, so that is why it is most important in NIPER JEE also. And then HPDLC, that has been used by several natural product students, high performance thin layer chromatography. Then titrimetric methods of analysis. For this, earlier only I told, this is not very much important. So just you need to study the principles. I think this will be familiar for first year students who will be there, because they have studied titrimetric methods during their first year of analysis. Then there are some miscellaneous methods like XRD, like X-ray diffraction, atomic absorption spectroscopy, then atomic emission spectroscopy, then ORD and CD, circular dichroism and optical rotary dispersion. Then it is a nitrogen estimation method like Geldahl method and Carl Fischer method for the estimation of moisture content. TGA, DTA, DSC like thermogravimetric analysis, differential thermal analysis, and DSC like differential scanning colorimetry. So out of that, Geldahl, Carl Fischer method and XRD, this I feel is most important, because XRD is also being utilized in NIPER most, and also DSC is also utilized here. Okay. Now medicinal chemistry. See, so far here for organic chemistry as well as analytical chemistry, there is no much difference, or the syllabus which I discussed till here is common for GPAT as well as for NIPER JEE. But coming to the medicinal chemistry, there is little bit difference. See, actually the medicinal chemistry and pharmaceutical chemistry, both these terms are utilized interchangeably. Actually, what we follow is that medicinal chemistry is a part of pharmaceutical chemistry, but in the other professional fraternities or etc., this it is utilized interchangeably. Means both are broad, medicinal as well as pharmaceutical and etc. So the thing is, in medicinal chemistry, if I see for the NIPER, and then I will explain you about the GPAT also. For NIPER, usually introduction to medicinal chemistry part is important, like solubility, partition coefficient, or the physicochemical properties which affect the biological action. Okay, solubility parameter that affects the biological action in many ways. For example, what are the characteristics or what are the parameters that affect the solubility? There are majorly the size of the molecule. There is also the branching, or there is also the hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding are of two types: intramolecular hydrogen bonding as well as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So which kind of hydrogen bond we want in molecules? So in that way, the hydrogen bond molecule has been designed, and then through that hydrogen bonding or through achievement of this kind of principle, the solubility of the molecule has been traced. And as you all know, as many of them will be agreeing with me, that solubility is also linked with the pharmacological action. For example, if the drug is highly lipophilic, that means it is highly soluble in the fats or it is highly soluble in the oils, then the drug will cross the blood-brain barrier and enter the CNS. Okay. If the drug is highly hydrophilic, then it will be showing a good bioavailability. Why? Because for the hydrophilic drugs, first the drug has to undergo disintegration, or which tablet on, if you, for example, if you consume tablet, the tablet has to be disintegrated and then it has to be dissolved. So disintegration and dissolution. So for the dissolution, solubility is important. And for the solubility, the medicinal chemistry and organic chemistry, both kind of molecules and all this is linked. And of course, pharmaceutics also. So for that reason, you need to study all the physicochemical properties which are affecting the medicinal or the pharmacological action, and the van der Waals forces. So these are the properties which are very important for NIPER examination. These are listed here. Then Lipinski rules of 5. That Lipinski was earlier a scientist in the Pfizer. He was from the medicinal chemistry department of Pfizer, and then he set the rules like what are these 5 rules for the any molecule to form a drug-like character, or if it is not like that way. So that rules you need to study. Then also synthesis of some important pharmacological or the important compounds that you need to study. And synthesis, don't study that each and every step. Just you need to study the starting material and the drug which you know only, that this drug I am synthesizing. So starting material and some of the key intermediates is like as I earlier discussed. Then classification, mechanism action, and drug metabolism. Classification and mechanism action is you will be studying in pharmacology also, but in medicinal chemistry, the classification will be based on chemical classification. So under the chemical classification, you need to study, and pharmacological classification also will be there, which will be studying in pharmacology. Then mechanism action is common in pharmacology as well as, and this drug metabolism. Drug metabolism is important in this medicinal chemistry also. Like what are the phases of drug metabolism? What is the phase 1? What is the phase 2? Phase 1 will be having oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis. Phase 2 will be having conjugation reactions and all that, etc. Then QSAR, CAD, combinatorial chemistry, and parallel synthesis. And last point, or the point for this 2 subjects, is study medicinal chemistry and pharmacology collectively. Now, what is the difference of medicinal chemistry in GPAT and NIPER? In NIPER, the important part is around this and this. QSAR, CAD, combinatorial chemistry, and parallel synthesis. QSAR means it is quantitative structure activity relationship and computer-aided drug design, which are the novel methods and advanced methods of this. So if you are studying for NIPER and also apart from this, you need to emphasize more on this. And for GPAT, these all are important, whatever I am telling. So this is the important difference in for the GPAT as well as NIPER JEE for medical. Next subject is pharmaceutics, which we are doing. Okay, now in pharmaceutics, as an initial part of your curriculum and first year studies, you will be having one subject of physical pharmacy. In physical pharmacy, you will be studying pre-formulation characteristics, suspension, emulsion, colloids, and all the liquid dosage form, and micromatics and rheology, and etc. Micromatics means it is related to solids, or it is related to the powders, and rheology means it is related to liquids, viscosity and all, surface tension and all the properties, complexation, thermodynamics, and interfacial phenomena, and this kind of thing. So so don't assume that okay, pharmaceutics is important in NIPER JEE or GPAT, so we can skip physical pharmacy. Actually, your subjects in the first year of your undergraduate course, these are very much important. So don't skip or don't underestimate any subject. Like okay, this physical pharmacy is there, I will be studying suspension in the industrial pharmacy also. So why to study it in physical pharmacy? But during the first year, you will be studying these basics. And these basics of suspension will be utilized to evaluate the formulation parameters or the evaluation parameters in industrial pharmacy. So you need to study right from the first year. Then unit operations of pharmaceutical engineering, that is a size reduction, size separation, filtration, evaporation, drying, all kind of unit operations we need to see. Out of that, these are the important, like size reduction, separation, drying, distillation, and automated process control system. Like you have the HVAC system in the industry. That is one kind of the automated process control system. Then you have the SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition system. That is also one of the system. Okay, that also you need to see. Then size, you need to, as I discussed in the organic part also, you need to discuss the synonyms also. So site separation, the synonym for site separation is the sieving or sifting. So that also the question will be asked. Okay, these 4 are the mechanism. Which of this one mechanism will be stated, and what are this? Means it is a sifting or it is a sieving or etc. Or the question will be reversed. What are the various mechanisms of sifting? That is the thing. So you need to know that sifting means site separation. So examiner wants to ask the mechanism of site separation. That is the thing. Then posology. Posology means dose related to dose and the dilution on all the etc. parameters. So posology indicates that dose calculation formula like Young's rule, Dilling's rule, Clark's rule, and etc. Then isotonicity calculations. The formula is there, etc. Everything is there for that. Proof spirit. Proof spirit is related to the alcohols. Like okay, this is how much degree overproof, this is under proof and all. You will be asked that, okay, this is the proof strength of this alcohol. So what is the under proof degree? How many degrees it is under proof, or how many degrees it is over proof? Then dilution. You need to see the alligation methods and all. For the preparing one lower concentration solution by mixing two solutions, with or by preparing to prepare intermediate concentration solution by mixing the two solutions, which is one is the higher concentration and another one is of the lower concentration. Then you need to look at the pH, pK, and all the kinetics, like first order reaction is associated with what, rate equation of first order reaction, what is the zero order kinetics and all, etc. Now industrial pharmacy. This industrial pharmacy is the most important, and out of that, tablet and capsule and aerosols, and parenterals, these are most important for NIPER JEE. And what you need to study from this you need to study about the formulation, its manufacturing, and also its evaluation, and the theories associated and advantages and disadvantages of this. Means, for example, take an example of tablet. So how will you formulate the tablet? So for the tablet, you have first you have the API, then you have the excipients, and out of that, if you need to formulate the modified release tablet or some other kind of prolonged release, sustained release, extended release, then what kind of excipients are used, what should be there, and what is the punching pressure that is to be utilized by tablet puncher. These are all kind of in formulation and manufacturing. Then evaluation parameters. How will you evaluate your formulation? Like, okay, the tablet is been prepared. So how will you evaluate according to regulatory parameters? Like, okay, the hardness must be there. Then dissolution will be there. Disintegration will be there. Or all kind of theories associated with that. And at last, its advantages as well as disadvantages. So these are the parameters which are written in bracket that you need to study for all formulations. And not for all, these are the important formulations which are mentioned here. Then next is biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics. This is also the most important part in GPAT as well as NIPER JEE. Here, for GPAT as well as NIPER JEE, both are common. This pharmaceutics is official. Okay. So this drug ADME parameters, this is most important. Absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion, which are known as drug disposition parameters also. Then calculations associated with those absorptions. Then you need to study the drug release phenomena. What are the drug release? How the drug is released from the formulation inside the body? What is the volume of distribution? The sum or the questions which come from the VD are the larger. So you need to calculate the loading dose also, maintenance dose also, volume of distribution, bioavailability and bioequivalence. What is BCS and BDDCS? BCS means it is a biopharmaceutics classification system, and this is known as the biopharmaceutics drug disposition classification system. So you need to study the differences, that where the BDDCS is used and where BCS is used. For example, this BDDCS is used in the research stage, and BCS classification is used for the regulatory purposes because it is simple in that. So modified release excipients, then dose response curve, that what is the sub maximum response, what is the maximum response, what is the therapeutic response, what is the toxic response, etc. Then pro-drug approach, like you need to synthesize or you need to manufacture pro-drugs for some special advantages. So that you need to study that what are the advantages which are there. Then NDDS, like novel drug delivery system, liposomes, neosomes, nanoparticles, microparticles, and resealed erythrocytes. For this NDDS, I will tell you, you refer the last pages of Brahmankar. Last pages means there is a chapter of NDDS in Brahmankar on for biopharmaceutics that you refer for NDDS also. That is exactly fine. And as per the differences in the examination is been considered, the industrial pharmacy for the GPAT as well as NIPER, it is most important. Industrial pharmacy, biopharmaceutics, and this part, physical pharmacy part. This is very much important for GPAT as well as the NIPER JEE. Now we come to the next subject, that pharmacology. So in pharmacology, we will be having many parts, like one is the general pharmacology, and this is most important. And this general pharmacology is most important for NIPER JEE. I am not telling it is not important for GPAT, but the degree of attention or degree of questions that come from general pharmacology in NIPER is greater than that of the GPAT. So in general pharmacology, you will have to study the introduction of this KD Tripathi, which is there, the common reference book. That is route of drug administration. the sources of drug, like what kind of 5 sources the drugs are obtained, then pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, then dose response curve, like I earlier discussed, LD50, ED50, IC50, and TD50 values. What are the difference between these four? What is agonist? What is antagonist? What are inverse agonist receptors and their types? Most of the students know agonist and antagonist. They don't know what is inverse agonist. So the question will be based on this. They NIPER will not ask you what are agonist and antagonist. They will ask you what is inverse agonist. And why? Here is the catch. There most of the students don't know. So you need to study it also. In the KD Tripathi, it is given in one special point. What is the inverse agonist? So that you need to study. Then ANS, like drugs acting on autonomic nervous system. So for the drugs, you need to, for each class of drug, there is one common thing what you need to study. First, you need to study the classification of the drugs. Classification, then you need to study about the mechanism of action, and then you need to study about the application, like in therapeutics related to that area. For example, the autonomic nervous system, I am telling you in detail. Like there is a classification of autonomic nervous system are divided into cholinergic, anticholinergic, adrenergic, as well as anti-adrenergic. So these 4 types of therapeutic agents will be there. So you need to study the detailed classification about the cholinergic and all these 4 kinds. And then you need to study about the therapeutics. Therapeutics in the sense disease associated with particular therapeutic area. That is, see, myasthenia gravis, that is associated with the disorder in the autonomic nervous system. Glaucoma, that is a increase in the intraocular pressure, that is also related to the ANS. Organophosphorus poisoning, that is also related to the ANS. Okay, this is not a disorder one kind, this is a one kind of poisoning. So for therapeutics, you need to see the example, or you need to look into detail about the therapeutic classification and also about the disease and how will you utilize such drugs in the disease. Therapeutics is not hard. If you study the classification as well as mechanism of action in detail, then therapeutics part is very easy for you. That is just you need to apply those learning inside that therapeutics. Okay. So is this point clear for pharmacology?
Yes, participants, looking forward for your responses. Aniket has given a thumbs up. Okay. Yeah. Kushbu says yes. Sharmila says yes.
Great. Great.
Okay, it's clear. So yeah. Shushmit, you just have a glass of water and then continue.
Yeah, sure. I will be having. Okay, so CNS will be having the many agents like sedative as well as hypnotics, then general anesthetics and antipsychotics and anticonvulsants and antidepressants and therapeutics like Alzheimer's as well as Parkinson's disease. Okay, so what are the things which I told for basic pharmacology? Means for each kind of therapeutic area, you need to focus or you need to study in such manner. Okay, so in CNS, these are the agents, and in the therapeutic part, important part is Alzheimer as well as Parkinson's disease. Okay, so now CVS. So in cardiovascular system, as you all know, it is a blind, it is obvious that most of the questions in the CVS part will be based on anti-hypertensive agent, because there are the maximum number of patients of hypertension throughout the world, and most of the regulatory parameters are not regulatory. Most of the pharmaceutical industries or etc. they focused on this. Their research area is on the anti-hypertension, or their research area is on the hypertension. Even NIPER is in researching on the hypertension since many years. Many of the projects are related to hypertension. So hypertension, then anti-anginal, anti-arrhythmic, antiplatelet, anticoagulants, and diuretics. Then analgesics, that is a pain pathway, NSAIDs, opioid analgesics, as well as the steroids. Then under the respiratory system, you need to see the bronchodilators, then asthma, there's COPD management like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and drugs related for the cough like antitussive and all, etc. Then under chemotherapy, this is also the most important one. See, this from pharmacology, ANS, CNS, CVS, analgesics, and chemotherapy. This is the most important part in the GPAT as well as NIPER JEE. Why? Because these are the core therapeutic areas where the many pharmaceutical industries in the world invest their money in the research or their resources. So even NIPER also invest those things. My lab is totally working on anti-cancer as well as anti-leishmanian since 15 years. So we are means our lab is a pioneer in anti-cancer discovery then. So we are very much working. Even my project is on anti-cancer. I synthesize many anti-cancer molecules. Okay. So antibiotics, anti-cancer, anti-TB, under the chemotherapy, you will be having antibiotics also. Don't misunderstand that chemotherapy means it is for only cancer. It is for antibacterial and antimicrobial agents also. Okay. So anti-HIV. Then GIT, it is anti-ulcer and anti-emetics. Then drugs for IBS, that is irritable bowel syndrome, or we can call it as inflammatory bowel syndrome. Then under therapeutics, you have the management of H. pylori infection, Helicobacter pylori. Okay, so that is a most important one. Then next part is in the natural products, right? Okay, so it is a quantitative microscopy like Lycopodium spore formation method, stomatal index, and stomatal number. Now here is a large difference in GPAD and NIPER JEE for this particular subject. Then chemical test for alkaloids, glycosides, tannins, resins, terpenes, etc., and all the secondary metabolites which you have in the pharmacognosy. Then diagnostic features in microscopy of various drugs, like okay, what are the types of trichomes, or what are types of trichomes found in the digitalis purpurea, or what are the how will you differentiate digitalis lanax and digitalis purpurea? That this kind of things is through many diagnostic characters through microscopy. So through qualitative microscopy. So this kind of things you need to study: types of stomata, types of trichomes. How will you use this parameter to differentiate? Then primary and secondary metabolites like hydrolysis products. So for if you are hydrolyzing this glycoside, any of the glycoside, then what are their specialized products that you will be that you need to see in the pharmacognosy. Then phytochemistry of various drugs, like which I discussed, and marine drugs. Now here comes a last difference in the syllabus of pharmacognosy for GPAD as well as NIPER JEE. These kind of all the points which I mentioned is specific for NIPER JEE. These are very, very important. Okay. And especially phytochemistry is very important. Phytochemistry in the sense you study the chemical constituents which are found in the crude drugs and their pharmacological action. Means it is totally based on the application part. But in the GPAD, it is not only just phytochemistry, it is everything. Okay, everything in the sense you will have to also memorize the biological source. You will also have to memorize the cultivation and collection of the specialized drug, like aloe vera is an important drug. So you need to see the cultivation and collection of the aloe vera also, cultivation method also. So that also, so GPAD is based on entire, means there is a pharmacognosy section in GPAD, but in NIPER JEE it is not known as pharmacognosy, it is known as natural products. Why? Because it is more majorly focused on the chemical constituent and the pharmacological action. NIPER JEE don't want the biological source or cultivation and collection, etc. So this is the main difference in the GPAD and NIPER JEE for pharmacognosy. Chemical tests are also very important for NIPER JEE. For example, that Van Oaks reagent, which is used for the detection of ergot alkaloids. What is the chemical name of Van Oaks reagent? That is para-dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde. That is a Van Oaks reagent. And that reagent is used to test for the ergot alkaloids. If you have the unknown sample of alkaloids and you need to add Van Oaks reagent into that, and then you will get some specific color, and that will indicate the presence of ergot alkaloid in that. So that kind of chemical test and diagnostic characters and phytochemistry is all important in the natural products for NIPER JEE. And for the GPAD also, this is also important, but for GPAD, biological source and cultivation of the specific drugs and trichome stomata, that is also there. So it is the difference. Now we shift towards the minor subjects out of the pharma subjects. Like till here, there were the major subjects like pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmaceutical analysis, then pharmacology and pharmaceutics. These four are the major subjects inside the pharma subjects. And these natural products, you will be finding only 3 to 4 questions based on this kind of points in the NIPER JEE, but in the GPAD you will find around 10 to 11 questions. So natural products is around, you will find 3 to 4 questions in NIPER JEE. So here it starts the minor subjects, which we call. So focus on the minor subjects as well. Minor subjects are important to score your rank or to increase the rank. Major subjects are important for your main score, and minor subjects are important for your rank. So concentrate on this also for GPAT as well as NIPER. So carbohydrates from biochemistry. Carbohydrates, you need to study classification, you need to study metabolism and the chemical test fit. For any of the in biochemistry, you have many molecules, biomolecules. For any of the biomolecule, as in the pharmacology, I discussed that it is a common method to study all the therapeutics. So it is a common method to study all the biomolecules. One is you need to study the classification, then you need to study the metabolism of biomolecule, all the pathways which are associated with the metabolism. Then you need to study you are studying the pathways related to the metabolism. So once you get to know about the pathways, so you will have to also study the drugs acting on that pathways, and that you have already studied in the medicinal chemistry as well as pharmacology. So in biochemistry, you need to link those medicinal chemistry as well as pharmacology in studying the metabolism, because for example, carbohydrates will be undergoing metabolism in the body, and then there is a series of biochemical pathways which are there, and the disorders are associated with these biochemical pathways, and there comes the drugs. And drugs are what? They are the chemicals which will inhibit, or they will they will inhibit or antagonize some of the biochemical enzymes or the pathways, like that way. So it is all integrated. Okay, so carbohydrates, we come to classification, metabolism, inside that glycolysis, then Krebs cycle, HMP shunt, hexose monophosphate shunt, then disorders associated with the carbohydrates like diabetes mellitus. This is most important. Chemical test as well as with principles. Then proteins. Proteins, we will be having amino acid classification, metabolism, urea cycle, specialized products and disorder. And yes, in pharmacology, I forgot to mention about the anti-diabetics. Anti-diabetics are also most important after anti-hypertensive, because these are that also you need to understand, or you need to pay attention for anti-diabetics also. Okay, pharmacology as well as in medicinal chemistry. And then in biochemistry, you will be studying carbohydrates that is associated with the diabetes. So that also will be there. Then proteins, that is amino acid metabolism. Okay, then urea cycle, it's specialized product. For example, see Parkinson. Now here comes the another link. In the CNS disorder, in the pharmacology, I have mentioned Alzheimer's as well as Parkinson. So in the Parkinson, there is a lesser amount of dopamine in the substantia nigra. And for that way, there is a tremor in action, or all the symptoms are rise, because dopamine is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So now here what is there? It is related to the amino acid metabolism. Why? Because dopamine is actually a amino acid amine. So that comes under that we'll see from the metabolism. So metabolism of the amino acid or in the proteins, you will be coming across one pathway. Okay, and that pathway, inside that pathway, there will be a disorder of the less dopamine. So that will be leading to the Parkinson disease. So that way you need to interact, or you need to not interact, you need to link those subjects. Okay. Then lipids, like, okay, see for example, I can tell you phenylalanine is converted into tyrosine. Then tyrosine is converted into the specialized products. Okay, so these both are acids. Okay, so and then the final product is around dopamine. And then due to this less number of dopamine, then you will be having dopa decarboxylase inhibitors and all those things. And levodopa is a major drug for Parkinson's. Then lipids, then classification, metabolism and disorders associated. Now, due to this modern lifestyle, everyone or most of the persons will be having cholesterol disorders. So it is one kind of hint that cholesterol disorders and all lipid disorders, these are also important. And these are going to be asked in NIPER JEE. Then enzymes, you need to see about the EC classification. EC means enzyme commission. That is the classification. Like oxidoreductases, then transferases, hydrolases, ligases, lyases, isomerases, this kind of thing. These are the six types of EC classification for enzyme. Then it is enzyme kinetics, and then diagnostic use of the enzyme like SDPT or SDOT. For example, if some of your relatives or many in your home, if you find out the results somewhere in the blood report, or you might be looking at the CBC or any of the report, you might be coming across this term like SDOT and SDPT test. That is serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase and serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase. So these kind of enzymes are responsible for the diagnostic use. Like, okay, if this SGOT rises, then there is one kind of disorders which are associated with that of the heart. So it is you need to look that in which kind of disorder, what are the enzymes which are raised from the normal concentration in the blood. So that is the use of diagnostic use of the enzymes. Then genetics. Genetics is the DNA. Then genetics part is also very important. You need to study about the DNA, RNA. Then central dogma of molecular biology, like first DNA will undergo replication, then it will be undergoing conversion to the mRNA, that is known as the transcription. Then this mRNA has been converted into proteins, that is known as the translation. So this is known as the central dogma of molecular biology. You need to study the steps associated with that in detail. Then mutation, types of mutation, what are the disorders of mutation, then nucleotides and nucleotide metabolism. Then tools of biochemistry or biotechnology, that is PCR, that is common in the COVID-19 parameter judging, like RT-PCR, what we can tell, real time, what reverse transcriptase on, etc. Okay, so SEC, that is known as a size exclusion chromatography. That is also the one of the tool which is utilized in biochemistry. Then size exclusion chromatography, gel permeation chromatography, and these are the things which are associated with the SEC. SEC is under two types, GFC and gel filtration and gel permeation, GPC. Then you have the affinity chromatography. Then you have a DNA fingerprinting, blotting techniques, ELISA and RIA, enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, and radioimmunoassay. These are the things which you need to see in those tools part. Then under the vitamins, you need to just study about the classification. Its chemistry, means what is the chemical name. See, for example, what is the chemical name of vitamin C? That is ascorbic acid. So that kind of questions will be asked. So that I mean from the chemistry. Then functions and disorders associated. What are the disorders associated with the vitamin D deficiency? What are the disorders associated with the vitamin C deficiency? Okay, this kind of thing. Then you need to, one last tip, that is combine biochemistry with medicinal chemistry and pharmacology, as I earlier explained how to do that. And next minor subject is microbiology. Then in microbiology, you need to see about the classification of microorganisms, staining techniques, intracytoplasmic inclusions like spores and all the staining techniques for the spores. How will you stain these kind of techniques? Then you need to see about the cell wall, and also you need to look about the virus, like what is the lytic cycle, what is the lysogenic cycle. So these are the some important points which will be asked. Then sterilization and classification upon the methods of sterilization. Then antigen antibody reactions, immunity and its types, and hypersensitivity reactions. Means what are the different types of antigen antibody reactions? What are the different types of immunity? What is the active immunity? What is the passive immunity? Through vaccines, you will get active immunity or through passive immunity. That will be one of the questions. Then what are the types of hypersensitivity reaction? What is the type 1? What is the type 4? Type 4 is known as the delayed hypersensitivity. What is known as the type 1 hypersensitivity? What is type 2, type 3? That questions will be asked. Then vaccines. Vaccines are most important. As you know, from the COVID-19 prevalent areas, these vaccines are most important. And all the year of the NIPER JEE will have the questions on the vaccine. So what are the types? What are the production? And through which microorganism we obtain this kind of vaccine? That is the thing. And then COVID vaccines are important. rDNA technology. From the now we come under the biotechnology as the last one. That will be having rDNA technology, that is recombinant DNA technology. How it's the protocol of this rDNA technology, what are the enzymes, what are the vectors which are used. Then plant tissue culture, that is types and what is the media. And inside that plant tissue culture, hairy root culture is very important. I think there will be questions on hairy root culture as well. Then monoclonal antibodies, as in the COVID-19 prevalent area, and many of the therapeutics have been shifted to monoclonal antibodies also. Means we utilize small molecules also, and we utilize peptides also, but now we utilize monoclonal antibodies also, like trastuzumab and all, etc., etc. Okay, so this monoclonal antibodies, how they are manufactured, what are their use, what are the advantages. Then fermentation processes, like we use fermentation to produce antibiotics and to produce vitamins. what is the process of production of this penicillin, how to produce cephalosporins. Through fermentation process, we usually it is done in industry. So its process and applications. Now, here we end the means NIPER JEE syllabus. As according to you, it is, I have mentioned each and everything that is been needed for the student to think or to start the preparation right from the first year. Okay. So now we come at the this, that is NIPER JEE tough? Means there is a general question that is NIPER JEE tough? See, it is tough, but it is according to you. Means if you study from the right from the first year, and if you study by applying the analytical thinking, and if you have the analytical thinking or logical thinking, or thinking in a logistic manner for each and every aspect, and if you look at the multifaceted aspects every time, then NIPER JEE is not tough for you. Okay, that is the main thing which is been tested on NIPER JEE. So that is why I was every time I was giving you the example of this linking the subjects and studying it in combination, because this only the parameter. Why? Because NIPER will test you for the applications. Means there will be many persons who will be studying a lot, but they don't know, or they are not able to utilize their study. Then you only tell me what is the use of your studies. If you are not able to utilize their studies, or you apply your studies for the nation or for the industry, what is the use of that? So NIPER JEE focuses on the application, and you need to think in an applicative manner always while you are studying. So if you think in that way, then NIPER JEE will not be tougher for you. Okay. Then stress management along with the analytical thinking, that is also important, because stress management is studying this throughout the 4 years, and just you have that 2 hours to show your four years study curriculum, or your 4 years all your hard work. So that is one of the stress management also during the exam and during this 4 years of your graduation. Then time management, as I earlier told, that you will get only 36 seconds for one question. So there is a time management is also required. You need to solve your NIPER JEE paper in at least 2 rounds. Okay. So you need to means there are 36 seconds allotted for one question, but you must be able to answer the one question in just less than 5 seconds. Then you can scroll the whole paper in the more than 2 rounds or in more than 1 round. As well as time management is also required, and as well as accuracy is also important, as there is a 25% negative marking. So if you are a 1 mark lesser than your competitor, you will be shifted around 40 to 50 ranks backward. That is the serious case. If you are just a 1 mark backward, then you will be shifting under the 40 to 50 ranks backward from the one candidate. So your accuracy is very important, and the one question is very important for you. And the competition is it is obvious. See, because in GPAT there will be many students appearing for GPAT, and those who qualify the GPAT, out of the 4 lakh or 5 lakh students, just 5,000 or 4,000 students qualify the GPAT, and those who qualify GPAT are eligible for NIPER JEE. So competition is going to be higher in this thing. And also there will be some amount of the droppers, like if for any reason one of the candidate aims for the NIPER and then he cannot succeed, then he takes a drop, and then it will be around the competition, because he will be appearing NIPER next year. So it is little bit competition for the fresher student. So you need to be aware about all these parameters, like for preparing for NIPER JEE, and prepare accordingly. Next, I have captured the cutoff data for NIPER Mohali for the reference, various departments, and I have arranged this department in a similar manner. So why I have shown this? Because you need to target, or you can right from the first year, you can target your subjects of interest and what kind of subjects are there, and what are the cutoff ranks for such kind of subjects. See, pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical technology formulation, I am concentrating on the general cutoff. It is under All India rank 13 and All India rank 20. That will be closed. Pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical technology formulations. Then pharmaceutical analysis, it will be closed at 43. Medicinal chemistry will be closed at All India rank of 80. Means it will be closed in the sense for the 2021 year. Now for 2022, right now, day before yesterday, the phase 1 counseling was over. Then 2022 data will be also captured later on by juniors or by by their students. Okay, so I have written the core as well as allied branch in a same in one after the other. See, the core branch is medicinal chemistry, its allied branch is pharmaceutical technology process chemistry. So the cutoff is around 366, and PI, pharmacoinformatics. So pharmacoinformatics and pharmaceutical technology process chemistry both are the allied branches of medicinal chemistry. So in short, all these three departments are related to each other. Similarly, pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical technology formulations are related to each other. Then pharmacology and toxicology and regulatory toxicology both are related to each other. Like RT is an allied branch of pharmacology. So I have mentioned core and allied, one after the other. So cutoff is 38 and 113. Pharmacy practice and clinical research are related to each other. Biotechnology and PTBT, that like pharmaceutical technology, biotechnology, they both are related to each other. Natural products and traditional medicine are related to each other. Then medical devices is the new course, and pharma MBA is the course, which is another course. So all these are the cutoffs, like for general, EWS, OBC, SC, and ST. For NIPER MOLI for the year 2021. Next, now overall difference between this GPAT as well as NIPER JEE. So GPAT will be having 125 questions, and NIPER JEE will be having 200 questions. GPAT will be having 3 hours, and NIPER JEE, the duration will be for 2 hours. So here approximately you will be getting 1 minute for one question, and here you will be greater than 1 minute, and here you will be getting just 36 seconds for one question. So time management, stress management, and presence of mind and analytical thinking, accuracy, precision, everything is here is important in this NIPER JEE. Accuracy is most important, and to achieve such this kind of responses in a long time, so that is why I told precision is also important in NIPER JEE. Okay, so in GPAT there is no reasoning or aptitude based question, but in NIPER JEE there is a small part of aptitude and reasoning question conducted by National Testing Agency, and it is conducted by the NIPER Joint Counseling Committee, or the 7 NIPERs. It is a prerequisite, GPAT is a prerequisite criterion for all the MPharm institutes. Like if you want to pursue the Master of Pharmacy in all the institutes across the India, then you need to be having the GPAT score. But NIPER JEE is a prerequisite criteria for the just for 7 NIPERs. Means for the admission into 7 NIPERs, it is not based on GPAT. It as earlier only I told you, you need to qualify GPAT, then you can appear for NIPER JEE. So it is a 2 kind of filter which are appear in NIPER JEE. So the students coming into NIPERs are not a normal one. So you need to, so the aim for this whole thing is you need to stand extraordinary from all the pharma fraternity, and you need to come here. Okay, last one is the reference books, which I have used, and many persons use for the, or many students use for the GPAT and NIPER JEE is physical pharmacy must be studied from Martin as well as CVS Subramaniam. This is most important, so you can take a snapshot or you can note this point, because reference book reading is very much important. Nowadays students, what I have seen, they just rely upon the college notes, and they just depend upon their college professors, and okay, they are providing notes, okay, we study that and over. They don't touch the reference books also. So that is not the case. If you need to qualify this top level pharma competitive examinations like GPAT and NIPER, and let me tell you, this GPAT is the fifth national level competitive examination, or the 5th toughest competitive examination in India, like GPAT as well as GATE. So it is, you need to be focused for preparing such kind of examinations, and for that you just don't rely on the notes or everything. You have to study the reference book and make your notes. Then for biopharmaceutics, you need to study Brahmankar. Then unit operation is CVS Subramaniam and CVS Subramaniam. Then industrial pharmacy, that is a Lackman and Lieberman and Remington. Then physical chemistry, you have the Ball and Tully. Then for organic chemistry, I used to refer Morrison and Boyd and Ball and Ball. Then for medicinal chemistry, I used to refer Wilson and Giswald and Foes. And for synthesis part, I have referred Algar-Swan. That is a special book for just for synthesis part. Then pharmaceutical analysis, I have referred Chatwal, Vyar Sharma, and Remington and Pavia. Most of the time I have referred Vyar Sharma and Chatwal. Pharmacology, I have referred KD Tripathi as well as Rangandale. Rangandale, I have studied charts and diagrams and all. And KD Tripathi is all the classification, mechanism of action and everything. And if some of the mechanism of action that is not clear from KD Tripathi, I used to look upon the Rangandale. Then for pharmacognosy, C.K. Kokate is the best. Then in the biochemistry, Satyanarayan is the best. And that is one book that will be sufficient for all those points which I have discussed. Then in the jurisprudence, I utilize D.K. Jani as well as N.K. Jani. Now the preparation for the NIPER JEE or how to start. Okay. Now I have explained you through this whole this many hours, like 2 hours around. So I explained you all everything. So now how to start or from that. So main thing which I'll be instructing, I would like to advise is start your preparation from the first year itself. Okay, from this lecture was majorly also effective for the first year student also, because they need to understand this kind of subjects, and whatever you are studying from the first year, that is going to apply for your PG also and till the GPAT as well, NIPER, and also for your PG. So that you need to start your preparation from the first year itself. Then part 2 achieve, that is you have to study effectively and apply concept and always link the subjects, as where I have been telling since 2 hours. Then you need to read reference books and prepare notes, not to rely on the ready-made notes of prepared by someone. Then also you can purchase some test series and you can keep the track of your mistakes, as now test series and all, they are available, and test series are very much important because they track your scores, and so you can track yourself that what kind of the mistakes you can make, and then you will be around well versed with the online examination environment, like how is the environment all now, etc. And so for solving test series, I would like to suggest one thing. Whatever the mistakes which you are doing, you prepare one separate notes for the mistake. After you're attempting the test, you review your test, and whatever you have done wrong, which questions you have solved wrong, then you mention that your mistakes and you type or you write such questions and you document those. Okay, this was the mistake I have made here, and the correct answer is this. And always revise your mistakes every day. So the same mistake you will not repeat it again. So till 4 years or till last 1 or 2 years, you will be having a large amount of that questions which you are making a mistakes, and then significantly it will be reduced. Then study about the research areas and achievements of faculties as well as students. See, I believe that studying till 4 years, this is a large period, means right from the first year till 4 years. So till 4 years you will be studying, and then you will not be enjoying the thing. It is not like that. You have to study also and you have to enjoy also. So while enjoying, what you can look for enjoyment. See, if you will be bored every day, if you study 4 to 5 hours or 6 hours more daily, then you will be bored for this. Then for the refreshment, what you will do, you actually watch the NIPER website. You see the YouTube videos which are related to the NIPER life. You see how the students enjoy and what are the actually facilities of students. You just explore the Ahmedabad city's website. You just explore that city life of Chandigarh. You just explore city life of Hyderabad or your dream institute city, wherever it is located. Then you need to study. You need to just look about the research areas. Okay, it will be interesting. See, it is interesting. If you are studying the diabetes in the 2nd year or 3rd year, then it will be interesting that what kind of research in diabetes is going on in NIPER. So it is one kind of interesting moment for you, so that you can study and you can refresh your mind for that. You spend your time on YouTube by watching the NIPER live or your seniors videos and all this kind of interaction. Then important one is to spend your time on LinkedIn. This sir also tells, Manoj sir always tells in his lecture that you spend your time on LinkedIn. That I follow from him also. I am also the active member of LinkedIn, and also I follow him for these things. So see, LinkedIn will offer you a great advantage. Means it will also offer you what is going on in the corporate world. So I understand that many of the BPharm students will not be having their account in the LinkedIn, as they have not yet entered into the corporate world, but they can start with the LinkedIn, and they can scroll the daily timeline, and they can follow the pharma related corporate persons or pharma related post and all everything, and they can study what is happening in the outside world. So that is also very much important, and that will be utilized professionally. And last is refer NM Inamdar. NM Inamdar is the best book for the NIPER JEE. So you need this kind of the name reactions, rearrangement reactions and all the rules of organic chemistry and all, etc. Everything has been mentioned in the NM Namdar also especially. So exam strategies lies now. Now there is a time management, as I earlier told, 36 seconds for one question. You need to solve the paper in 2 rounds. Then you need to don't panic with the lengthy or difficult question. Now here is the catch. What I would like to tell you. See, the main catch is here. In the 200 questions, the paper setter or the NIPER Joint Counseling Committee also knows that you will be having 36 seconds only just for one question. So they will purposely put the long paragraph questions like that way in their paper pattern. Okay, and that questions are not to be solved in the first attempt while you are doing. So if someone, for example, the question number 6 is this kind of question, that lengthy paragraph question, or which will require a series of complex calculation. You will be beginning your paper with the question number 1, and then you will be coming to the question number 5 very fast. And in the question number 6, you find that last para, and you will invest your time, you will read that question, and then you will try to solve that question. And then again you will look, okay, the 1 minute passed, I cannot answer this question. Okay, then you will again think on that, you will solve it, the paper, you will calculate, and that way 5 minutes will be passed and you will be on the 5th question only. So this is one kind of trap. You don't need to solve those questions in the first attempt. You have to solve those questions, but after the after all your paper, after your 2 times or your one time at least, you must go through the paper. Because I know some of the students, what majorly the failure of this students in this NIPER JEE is due to this kind of traps. Means some majority of the students are not able to read all the 200 questions in the 2 hours. It is due to this trap. Means they are getting fall into this lengthy or difficult question trap, which is by the examiner. So that is actually testing your presence of mind. That is why I told you that your logical way or your analytical thinking or your presence of mind has been tested in this examination. So examiners want to test that how you survive in a stressful condition. So this is the main reason for putting this kind of traps here. So you need to apply concept effectively and you need to stay confident at last. This I can tell. So now I am open for the question and answers.
Perfect, Sushmit. Thank you so much for such a detailed presentation. It was like a complete encyclopedia of NIPER JEE you have thrown to us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much. Please have a glass of water and then we'll continue with the questions. You can stop the screen sharing as well.
Yeah, sir.
And participants, if you have something in your mind which you want to discuss with Sushmit, any questions that has propped up in your mind, please raise your virtual hand on Zoom, or you can also put in the chat box if you are tuning in from YouTube or from Zoom, and then you can ask the question. So let's clarify those questions and then we can move ahead. Perfect. Thank you, Sushmit. Please have a glass of water.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have spoken almost continuously for 2 hours.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll be. Just I'm coming in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Please have a glass of water and then continue. Participants, if you have any questions, please raise your virtual hand on Zoom, or you can also put the question in the chat box. How did you find this session? Was it useful? Interesting? How many of you will be planning for NIPER now? Ashwini, thank you. Happy, thank you. Aniket, thank you. Would you be planning for NIPER now after watching this session? Has it clarified to some extent the path to success for NIPER? Aniket, thank you. Aniket is planning for NIPER Mohali. Excellent.
Great. That is the kind of enthusiasm which I want to see since first year. Are you a first year student, Aniket?
So which year you are in right now? Yeah, Khushbu is also planning for NIPER Mohali. Excellent.
Great.
So this is all we want from our sessions.
Yeah,
third year.
To 4th year. Great.
Excellent. So this is all we want. Even if at least 4 or 5 students get selected by watching this session, get inspired by watching this session, our job is done. And if you found this session interesting, The recording will be available on YouTube, and if you are registered on Zoom, you will be getting an email also with the recording. Please pass on to your first year, second year, third year, and final year BPharm students, whoever is planning to go in for the next round of NIPER JEE exam. So, okay, we have a question from Khushbu. Sir, can we skip numerical type question?
See, Khushbu, I will be telling you, you need to skip numerical type questions in your first round of question. That only I was telling about time map, because numerical question requires a time for solving. That will not be completed in 36 seconds itself. So first you need to, you study your whole the paper, 200 question, you scroll it in first round, and then you mark such that numerical question for mark for review inside that computer. And then you will be notified that which question has been marked for review, and then you can go and you can solve this question and you will be having time for that.
Excellent tip that was. So Aniket is from Goa College of Pharmacy. That is another GCP. I'm from government. I did my BPharm and MPharm from Government College of Pharmacy. We call that GCP as well. So great to connect with you, Aniket. Any other questions, guys? Please ask the questions, and then we'll continue for a few more seconds. We have taken good amount of time, and I'm sure it was useful. At least if we were able to inspire you to plan something for NIPER, our job is done. Inspiration is something we wanted to do, create, and that probably, I'm confident that Sushmit's talk was good enough to inspire you, and it was such a decoded version that he has fully detailed the entire aspects of NIPER JEE. The complete subject he has decoded, every aspect of syllabus he has decoded, how you have to study he has decoded, what you have to expect he has decoded. 36 seconds per question is something which helps you to keep your mind ticking, and helps you to keep your subjects prepared well in advance, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So scope of PharmD versus MS in pharmaceutical biotechnology. Sushmit, any thoughts on this?
See, if I can explain you the MS in pharmaceutical biotechnology in India, if you compare that with the PharmD, it is obvious that MS in biotechnology will be having a wider scope in India. Yeah. Because PharmD, the case is right now, I am not blaming the curriculum or any aspects of that, but the PharmD, what kind of the respect the PharmD must be having, or what kind of scope that is there, that is not present yet in India. Maybe it will be in the future, but pharmaceutical biotechnology is quite safer as compared to the PharmD.
I totally agree with you. So for PharmD, it will take some more years for us to get cohesive with the doctor fraternity and then get that status. But pharmaceutical biotechnology is well established. A lot of biotechnological companies are coming in India, and a lot of companies, existing companies, are also moving to biosimilars and biotechnology categories. So there you have a lot of opportunities. And if you do something from NIPERS, then obviously your the whole prospects gets empowered, right? So you get a lot of wider reach and better prospects there. So thank you for asking, Aniket. I'm sure it was useful, and I think we are able to answer that. Any other questions? And we can close in a few seconds from now if there is no other question. Okay. Perfect. So no other questions. All doubts clarified.
So I would like to mention one thing here. I would like to, first of all, earlier only I told, but now I would like to thank Manoj sir especially for providing this opportunity and guiding. And one thing I would like to thank my dad also. Because of him, I came in contact with you, sir. And
Excellent.
usually because he was just scrolling LinkedIn and he saw your post. He is not in the pharmaceutical sciences, but he saw your post and he gave me, okay, Susmit, watch this video. And coincidentally, after watching your video for medical writing or scientific writing by one of the webinar, and coincidentally after 15 to 20 days, the Indigen approached the NIPER placement cell. and since that day, I always watch your medical writing or scientific writing webinar, as now I am in that fraternity.
Excellent.
So it is, their videos have always helped me a lot also. And also your videos have helped many NIPER students as well, because they are
Excellent.
also been watching your videos.
Excellent. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Sushmit. There is one question from Khushbu. Sir, I have completed my syllabus, but please share any tips for preparation in 4 months' time.
You have completed your syllabus, okay, right from the first to 4 years, and you need to now in these 4 months, as you are a final year student. So in these 4 months, you need to revise the concept. Now you don't have to study. You don't just focus on the remaining part of a 8th semester. Rather than that, you focus on the revision from the first year to 4th year. And through revision, you can refer the year notes which you have made yourselves, and then you try to solve the test series at the maximum. You solve each and every day, you solve one test. And then when you are getting bored and that you watch the videos and you see, one thing which I would like to share is during my 3rd year or my 4th year of BPharm, I also by studying continuously for 6 to 7 hours, and then it is like many more persons will be bored. So for the refreshment, I used to watch the YouTube videos. I used to watch my seniors. I used to scroll LinkedIn, and then also I used to assume myself as I want to take a pic photograph in the NIPER Moali's front gate. So you assume like that way, and then you will again encourage and you will do more. So that is one of the tips in the last 4 months. And always solve their test series daily. Daily you solve one paper for NIPER JEE and solve NM Inamdar full, because NM Inamdar will be having memory based question, as you all might be knowing that NIPER JEE doesn't release the question papers. So you don't get question papers like GPAT. So all the questions which are based, they are the memory based. So they are been taken from the students exact immediately after they appear the examination. So NM Inamdar has such questions and question papers.
Excellent. That was an excellent tip, and I'm sure it will be helpful for the students. And the most important thing is, don't be overconfident. I know I've seen many students become overconfident that they've studied and they just skip out main portions. So please do not do that. You can rewatch this video again, because Shushmit has given some specific pointers on each syllabus part, where you can deep dive and study better, and make notes of all the mistakes that you make. These days a lot of online sessions are happening. You have a lot of online test series happening. So do participate in those test series and make a note of all the mistakes that you are making. Revise them, study them well, and I'm sure you'll be able to crack NIPER much better way. Okay, so it will be great if you provide the PPTs. We don't provide PPTs, Aniket, but the recording will be available to you. The entire recording of this session will be available. Since you are on Zoom, you'll be getting an email also. I'll be sending an email, and I'll be sending the resources which Shushmit had mentioned, specifically the books and other things, as an emailer. You can just make a note of that. And all the best to you. And I'm sure next speaker will be Aniket, once he cracks NIPER JEE. So he'll help us understand better. Okay, so this series I'll be continuously doing every year, just before NIPER JEE, so that we'll get fresh perspectives. And Shushmit was kind enough to help us understand and deep dive the entire syllabus, which was very exhaustive. I'm sure he needs a little bit of rest now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, and stay tuned. We do these webinars every Saturday at 2 p.m. So if you are a lifelong learner, if you want to learn a lot of things about pharmacy profession and career prospects in pharmaceuticals, then this is the place to tune in. This is the place you can be every Saturday. All these webinar recordings are available on YouTube. For the past 1.5 years, whatever webinar series we have done, everything is available on YouTube. And it is one of the webinar series through which Sushmit also got inspired to get into medical writing. And right now he is enjoying medical writing as a profession. And this webinar series, which I remember, I think I did in June 2021, and just before his campus interview. So the webinar helped him to understand the basics of medical writing and what questions he can expect in interviews. So that is how he was able to crack. And I'm sure his webinar, Shushmit's webinar, will help a lot of you who are watching this right now and who will be watching this the recording of this webinar. to crack and understand, NIPER JEE questions better and prepare for GPAT as well. Because if you have thoroughly prepared for GPAT, then NIPER JEE will not be difficult for you. And if you prepare for both the exams properly, considering the time you will be devoting, say around 1.5 minutes for GPAT, and less than 40 minutes, 40 seconds, that is about 36 seconds for NIPER JEE. Keep the question in time in mind so that your preparation becomes much stronger. And most of the time we feel that, okay, 2 hours, 200 questions, and that is where we, do not devote the time in a good way and we are not able to prepare. So do not do that. Do not make the mistakes that we did. In our times, we did not have so much of flexibility and opportunities. We're not even, we did not knew. I got a chance in to get MPharm in the same college where I did BPharm. So I never thought of going outside the college campus. And that is how I continued. But that you should not be doing it. You have a lot of opportunities, not just in India, but abroad also. Please keep trying and be the best version of yourself to contribute the best to the profession that we are in right now. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sushmit. Any final words you want to say to our audience, and then we can close from there.
Okay, I just want to say one final thing. Always dream higher. Okay. I am also not from a big background or anything. I was in a Gujarat state where it is least estimated. NIPER JEE and GPAT and all the students, most of the students will not be knowing because and few states like Maharashtra, Delhi and all the north and south, these will be well versed because there were many classes, coaching classes at that time. There was many things to put awareness, but defy all that odds. It is not the thing. Now you have the online resources. So now that is the reason of increasing the competition. During my times, there were no online resources. So the competition in the NIPER and GPAT was less. But during that time, as compared to that time, but from now, competition will be increasing. So it is due to increasing of the resources also. That time the resources was not there, but the competition was at that pace. But now resources is there, so competition will be it will be higher than that as compared to 2 to 3 years back. So my final words are just to prepare for it. You always set up a goal and dream always higher and always study in a multiple aspects. That will be that will be helpful in your professional world also.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sushmit, for that. And I thank each one of you who have spent so much of time with us. And I hope both of us were able to add some value to your time, because time is the most precious thing. And if you have spent time with us, the purpose was to get value. And I hope the 2 hours that you have spent with us, more than 2 hours, were valuable and you could get a lot of takeaways from this session. And as promised, I'll be sending the recording of this entire session, and I'll be also sending the LinkedIn link of Sushmit to all of you. So just in case you want to take this conversation ahead further, Sushmit would be more than happy to help you out. And if you request, all of you request to have another session on specific topic related to NIPER JEE, I would request, I have not even asked Sushmit for now, but I am just, confirming on his behalf that we'll go for it, and he'll be more than happy to do it for us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And I wish you all have a wonderful weekend ahead. And we'll meet next Saturday again at 2 p.m. for some interesting learning. So stay tuned and do watch the recording later on to recap the whole topics that we discussed today. And if you find this interesting, please share with other friends as well, because only a few of us will not be able to change the scenario in pharmaceutical industry or the colleges. If all of us together bring in change, that is when the change happens. Right. So thank you so much. And I wish you have a wonderful weekend ahead. And with your permission, Sushmit, I'll be closing the session.
Yes,
and
sir.
Thank you so much, participants, for staying with us, and stay tuned for more sessions like this. And if you have any specific topics to request me, I'm sure all of you have my email ID, so you can send an email to me if you want any specific topic. And if you have any suggestions for a speaker, please do that. If you want to speak, you are most welcome. You can also speak. So all of us can speak, definitely. So if you have a topic to talk, then most welcome. So thank you so much. And we'll meet again next week at the same time, 2 o'clock Saturdays. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.